观众，大家好，我是九妹。那今天不得了，邀请到两位，可以说是在
做好防御准备，选择英雄。
这样就对了。哦耶！准备。
敌方将于30秒后开始行动。
了解，知道了，明白了，了解。我没时间浪费在这种无聊举动上。
5、4、3、2、1。攻击方出动了，
最近如何啊？
防守目标 A。
哈哈！感受疗愈节奏。哈哈！加速！谁都挡不住我！跟上这个节奏，滚开！耶！加快速度！闪开了！走开！加强恢复能力！滚开！行动！要加快速度了！走开！闪开了！耶！加速前进，让我来帮你制造一下。谁都挡不住我！滚开！开起来吧！太好了，出局！厉害！加快速度，这会让你更舒服点。
这就是真实的威力。
耶！加速吧，恢复吧！哦耶！3加。闪开了！
帮我治疗。
耶！大家加速前进！ 加快速度了，这会让你舒服点。
还剩60秒，
跟上这个节奏，再度登场。
目标已被完全占下，阻止目标前进。
大家加快脚步，走开！简直棒呆了！加速不远，
守护天使在此。
自由开火，任务。
所有人集合！我诚挚的
开始加速。这会让你舒服点。走开！有狙击手，小心头！滚开！耶，加速了！闪！不准动！
没有人能逃出我的双
跟上这个节奏，节奏永不止息。
各位英雄站起来！
是疗愈节奏。加快速度！希望刚刚没人看到。哈哈。我要加快速度了。
本我不拘于形。
失误招式。
彩重播。
绝吧！
双杀。
台湾 YouTube 圈知名的人物，我们的这个展瑞还有展龙，耶
！Hello， 大家好，
大家好，我是展瑞，
我是展龙。
太好了，我刚刚想说，我认不出来，对不对？我认得出来，只是我大概都要想2秒。
而且我们还穿一样的。
对，我们今天为了整理，我们弄的一样。
可是因为我之前有受展队长邀请去拍一个 MV 啦，其实跟他们合作过，大概合作个10分钟到20分钟，大概就可以分得出2个人的差异。
这么不像哦。
我觉得哥哥有哥哥的，你是哥哥嘛？
对，我是哥哥。
哥哥的感觉其实蛮明显的，你会觉得吗？
你是说他很明显是哥哥吗？
对啊，就是
弟弟比较幼稚。
我跟一些
就哥哥比较老气，对不对？你的意思？
你们这
弟弟比较涉世未深，
对啊，哥哥就是长得比较年纪比较大。
你说大个什么1分钟之类的，
然后弟弟就是看起来就是8+9。
8+9。今天这主题是我自己非常想做的，就是。因为夏天到了，其实我个人是1年4季都会喝台湾的手摇饮料。
其实我也是，
对，
我也是，
因为台湾真的太热。
但是我都喝奶类比较多。
哦，今天有奶类，今天有那个拿铁，
哦有
茶汤或者是奶类。然后今天的主题就是，我想跟大家探讨一件事情，就是手摇饮料大家那么爱喝，可是其实我觉得8成甚至9成人去都是半糖往下，半糖或微糖。
对我都是3分。
做好攻击准备，选择英雄。
哟，大家一起来！嘿，
我不大喜欢自己动手，但这次我亲自冲了进去。
准备登台表演。
冰墙，升起来吧！距离进攻还有30秒。
反脏，你应该加入我们才对，我们应该会合得来。加入利爪对我又没什么好处。抱歉，我要走自己的路，该行动了。
我得补充能量。
5、4、3、2、1，开始进攻！目送目标前进。
我是音乐治疗专家。加速喽！节奏永不止息。回复吧！滚开！哦，大声点！哦，狙击手，不要停下来！这样就对了。加速支援，闪开了。耶！大家加快脚步，别换首曲子了。要加快速度了。嘿，看我的！用狙击手，小心头！滚开！我が敵を食らう！ 太感谢了。开始加速！耶！闪开了！来路降临！
守护天使在此。
提高音量。特殊快递运送中。滚开！
要上路喽！
闪开了！加快速度！
知道你最好躲远一点。
大战之后，
战斗还没结束。
加速喽！那刚刚没人看到，谁都挡不住你。我来帮你制服一下。耶，加速吧！嘿，看我的！滚开！哦，要加快速度了！
各位英雄，站起来！
耶！
有狙击手，
我が敵を食らう！
守护天使在此。
他们还没学到教训呢。
这就是真实的威力。防御。谢了。
我要加快速度了。
嘿，目标停下来了。
这样就对了。感受疗愈的节奏。加速喽！加快速度！我刚开始暖身而已。目标停住了，让它动起来。敌人回来了！加强队伍能力，热舞开始！给我站住！瞧瞧我们的厉害！
本我不拘于形。龍が我が敵を食らう！
感谢你。
敌人回归战场吧。
还剩60秒。
还没准备好。
流星降临！
各位英雄，站起来！ 剩10秒。
时间快不够了，绝不能失败。
手能生巧。
延长赛。失败。精彩重播。
现实由我掌控。
双杀。双杀。
我已经习惯，就是一定要叫半糖去冰，或者是无糖去冰。我已经习惯，
就是糖越少越好，就是很少有。
做好防御准备，选择英雄。
哟，大家一起来！嘿，嘿，看我的！
只要按照剧本，就是我们的。啊，马上就有的忙了。我的传送器已启动。
攻击方将于30秒后开始行动。
我等不及看大家大展身手了。
5、4、3、2、1，攻击方出动了。主指目标呈现。
嗨起来吧！加快速度！要加快速度了！ 大家看，我好厉害啊！滚开！提高音量。
快好了！上天加速！上线！
还剩60秒。
加速吧！清除障碍，大招两下，完全不对劲，有听见吗？走开！要加快速度了！
回来这还剩30秒。
加强恢复能力，这是从天而降，再努力一下。滚开！
双杀！
大家质量一下，嘿，看我的！
还剩10秒。
大家相互配合，敌人就无法突破防线。
完全不对劲。上台了，任务开始。
战斗还没结束。
注意，他们回来送子了。加速！
各位英雄
破，热舞开始！
各位英雄站起来！
加速！闪开了！他们还没学到教训，由我滚开！加快速度！
还剩60秒。
这会让你更舒服点。走开！
还剩30秒。
闪开了！滚开！
还剩10秒。
闪开了！嗨起来了吗？
延长赛。
走开！完全不对劲。
现实由我掌控。
转大点！炸弹来了！热舞开始！
各位英雄站起来！
耶！大家加快脚步，刚开始暖身而已。
还没结束。
目标雷达检查点。
闪开了！这样，滚开！大致一下。哦耶！加快速度！别换首曲子了。
女武神在此。
这会让你直舒服点。加快速度喽！滚开！嘿，看我的！
还剩60秒。
正义从天而降，
永不消失。
我的帮你实现了！我太年轻还不能死！闪开了！
臣服于我的意志。
双杀。
现实由我掌控。
加快速度！回复吧！
还剩30秒。
快点啊！再努力一下！走开！
感受神夜的力量。各位英雄站起来！
还剩10秒。
自由开火！炸弹来啦！
延长赛。
加速喽 ！Echo， 再来一曲！热舞开始！提高音量，完全
臣服于我的意志。正义从天而降。
胜利。精彩重播。
闪开！
双杀。
我不这么认为。
再说一次培根啊！
有人会去点正常糖，那我就觉得很奇怪，因为正常这个词不应该说就是大家能够接受口味才叫正常啊。如果大家都不点正常糖，它为什么叫做正常？我买了3家台湾很主流的手摇饮料，然后还有那个简单的糖度测试剂，我们还买了糖度。
啊，你这糖度测试剂，我刚以为是那个男生在刮鼻。
哎，选择英雄。
你这个主流是你认为是主流？
我觉得啦，
多调查，
我觉得没有啦，就我自己会买的，
你自己会买的，
就是我自己会。
哟，大家嗨 ，Hello， Boom，
生活就是要尽情战斗。
Boom Boom Boom， 要吃露西欧还有麦片吗？
你的状态看起来稳定多了。
距离进攻还有30秒。
嘿，休息时间结束，该出发啦！
我在蓄力。
Boom，
我的绝招正在蓄力。
绝招已经在蓄力了。
这地方
哦，好可怕哦 ！Boom Boom。
5、4、3、2、1，开始进攻！
大声点！
破碎目标体系。
恢复吧！提高音量！正在移动目标。
来塔方问号。
流星坠还在蓄力。
滚开！
实现我的意志。
走开！要加快速度！我正在背着目标前进。闪开了！走开！滚开！加速！大家质量一下。那个谁，快把目标动起来！走开！特殊快递运送中。
别担心，
我靠！
在我面前屈服吧！
看我的！ 耶，加速吧！好，我们从头来过。有听见吗？
快让它动起来！
屏障长下，
恢复吧！滚开！音乐治疗专家。闪开了！
事居其手，交给我处理。
哦耶！看看，
正义从天，正义从天而降。
提高音量。太壮观了！加速复原，加快速度。
目标正在移动，快来支援！
哦，有狙击手，不要停下来！
没有人能逃出我的手。
滚开！军阵转大点！
我的绝招快出去！
双杀，目标抵达检查点。
前进！加快速度哦！哦，有狙击手，不要停下来！正在移动目标。任务开始！
胜利。精彩重播。
臣服于我的意志。
双杀。了不起！
不是我自夸，刚才真的沙很大。
被买的，所以我今天是买哈，就是我个人爱喝的3家，然后
就是你想喝吗？可以，
我认为的招牌。
哦，好，
对对对，那我也会稍微的用糖度计测一下它的糖度，让大家知道说它的那个绝对值大概在哪里。
前往。
然后我都是买全糖、半糖跟微糖。
全糖半糖。
而且我买，
所以你是想要测试他们的糖有没有比例一样？如果都是3分的话，
对，例如说这3家哪一家的全糖比较糖？那我们就先来喝50兰，50兰我选的口味都是4季春清茶。我们先喝，然后再来测度数，好不好？
好啊。
我们1人1根吸管。正常甜我记得是超甜。
正常。其实我已经很久没有正常全糖。
它这个正常甜是第一口你会觉得哦很好喝，可是我猜测喝第2口、第3口开始腻了。
因为其实我如果喝太甜，我喉咙会有点那叫什么？有点台语说稀哦，就是会有一点点 太甜的话，
太甜。
对，
其实第一口咽下去很顺，因为它很甜，
有夏天的感觉。
哎，但是我猜大概喝个50ml、100ml后就会开始
我现在在卡痰，
就是开始觉得哇，这个不行，这个太甜。
对，我觉得这个会，这糖都会倒嗓。你像有一些人的体质，你喝越甜会越容易长痘痘
啊，
对，
然后越容易过敏。跟
大家说，最大的问题真的就是因为代糖饮料。你只要去掉代糖跟油炸的，你这一辈子人生的皮肤一定会达到完美的巅峰。
我刚刚测全糖，就50兰四季春的全糖大概在7.5到8度左右，这个是很主流。四季春的半糖少冰非常，我自己平常是喝这个，这个比例
很多人都很喜欢喝这个。
对，我先来喝喝看。半糖就很不糖半糖喝起来偏水。
我觉得刚刚好，
每个饮料的比例不一样。
我觉得刚刚好，是因为在半糖的情况之下，茶味其实才会被带出来。对，然后你就会喝到回甘的感觉。
真的比较低耶，
真的比较低。
它现在的甜度大概在4度左右。我们大概是刚刚的一半，真的是半糖，
真的是一半，真的
接近，
因为刚刚是7多嘛
，7到8，
对，
它这个是4度，你看。
我怎么觉得你现在比较像在警示员工有没有偷懒？
其实是3.8到4这个左右。
3.8到4。
对，3.8到4没有近视。
不愧是弟弟。
对，3.8到4。对，我没有
证明自己没有，
我没有出道，
绕了一个3.8，硬要跟你原本不一样。
3.86224，
我没有出道，
硬要
我只想证明我没有30。
不过在某方面来也证明了说它的半糖真的是半糖。
对啊，因为它真的在
50兰的半糖，
真的有半糖的。
对，那接下来要喝一个更不甜的比例是，
这机器真的很准。
微糖微冰，就是冰也更少，然后你都快融掉了。
好，微，
你看全部都快融掉。微，
我觉得微也很好喝，
好喝，因为微茶味又更重，然后它几乎没有一点点甜而已。
对，
微可能比半糖还更耐喝哦。
对，如果要喝完整杯的话，
这真的很好喝。
微好喝
2.5啦
，2.5，
我觉得有要3了
，2.7、2.8左右。
对。2.7、2.8左右，快要接近3了。
为什么我现在看得很清楚？刚刚那个不清楚。
因为你现在学会，你现在已经比较习惯。
应该是你知道
这个要适应了。
怎么？我刚放太接近，我睫毛挡到。
接下来会带来的是清新福泉，然后清新我认为它的招牌是乌龙清茶。我觉得啦。然后这边也是正常糖，我先来喝喝看。
全正常的。
这应该破10度，这好甜哦。
这是糖水的感觉。
对，糖浆的，
是糖
全糖。
天，这个是接近10度，真的好甜哎。
所以他们的全糖的比例更甜。对，
而且多2度感受就差很多哎，从7.5到
代表我们的味蕾没有坏掉。
我们的味蕾，
我们真的觉得是比较甜的。
好，接下来要喝的是清新，一样是乌青，半糖少冰。
好，
也是我会点的比例。可是我现在开始有点担心了，因为刚刚它的全糖这么甜。
可是我有喝过他们家的半糖，我蛮习惯的。
半糖好喝，
半糖也是蛮甜，可是那个茶味开始出来了。半糖我觉得好喝， 是5，而且真的比刚刚多一点。所以刚才他们的半糖的确少一点。
所以我们喝得出来，
我们的味蕾很准，
大概多半度到1度可能都喝得出来。
我们很准，我们嘴巴很准，
真的。接下来要喝的是一样是乌青，然后微，然后冰块已经几乎全部融掉。
乌龙要加糖。
对，乌龙要拌，我也觉得要拌的，因为这个太像茶，就是水，很水。
因为乌龙有一个酸味，那个酸味有些人可能会觉得有点偏向不好的味道。对。
它的微糖大概只有2.5到3呢，所以清新虽然比较甜，可是它的准度是准的。他不会说客人要个3分糖，结果来一个4分糖。
如果他们的董事长在看的话，你们下面 SOP 做得很
好。对，接下来呢是我个人非常爱的，可能也是你们今天最爱的。
对，这是我最爱的
茶汤会。然后茶汤会的招牌，我个人认为是观音拿铁。
对，
它的正常糖是今天的正常糖里面最好喝的。
真的假的？
就是也是甜，可是我心情不好的时候，这个糖度我可以接受。我猜测
心情不好，
我猜测大概6.5到7。
很好喝哎。
对，我今天的预期是全部的全糖都会难喝，
我觉得这是刚刚好的。
它的茶味跟奶
都有，
跟糖它们的比例撞在一起，它很完美。
所以茶汤会是可以正常点。不过我要帮另外2家说话一下，是因为茶汤会最后测它的冰块都快融掉了。如果茶汤会冰块没有可能会，
你这样讲也对。
对。可是茶汤会另外优势，它本来就是碎冰，它的冰其实融的可能会比较快。我这边看是10度，
或是牛奶，对，
我擦，应该是奶的关系，还是你再一次？
我擦掉再一次，真的10度哎，你无法想象它跟刚刚的清新是一样的甜度哎。
一样哎，
真的10度哎。
可是刚才在喝茶的时候，我觉得很像喝糖水。
接下来就来是半糖的这个铁观音，
是我坏掉了吗？我觉得跟刚刚是一样的，
很像，对不对？
跟刚刚是一样的啊。
所以会不会它的半糖不是半糖啊？
还是他加错了？
可是我觉得牛奶味道真的不一样啊！我觉得会不会是牛奶的关系？
它牛奶怎么测都10度。
这一杯真的比较奶，第一杯真的比较有奶味。
来，我们喝最后一杯微糖的观音拿铁。有啊，这真的微糖，
这真的微糖，这个落差应该就很大，
奶味甜味都降下来了。有啊，
现在这是微微，对不对？
微微啊。
那我觉得微微是半糖，我认知的比例是，
你说它糖度可能还是有5，对不对？
对，我觉得它有5。
好了，各位，那我们最后来做一下总结哦。总结就是其实清新跟500的全糖我们都不能接受，
对，
都太甜。尤其我很佩服清新可以喝全糖的人。
很厉害，
可是真的应该是有少数，
但是因为它明显高出50兰，
对，清新的全糖已经是50兰的全糖再加甜，然后但是清新跟50兰的半糖跟微糖都很棒，都不错，
对，
这个大家如果是国外的华人朋友，可以下次来考虑。
尤其我们刚刚点到他们有比较有名的茶，所以喜欢喝茶的人啊，真的不要。
如果要招待外国人的话，真的建议半以下，品味到
茶本身的味道。
对，然后。但是我觉得另一个很惊艳的是茶汤会的全糖其实是好喝的，
对，
那一杯真的很好喝，
好喝。然后它的半糖也好喝，但是就是奶味多一点。好了，以上就是这一次的这个手摇饮料糖度大测试啊，我觉得很好玩
蛮好玩的，而且
很有趣，
而且喝了好多，
没关系，这工作人员帮我们消掉。
今天好肥哦，
真的，
今天好胖。
你们最后要不要打歌一下啊？
我忘记这件事。
你们的闪退跟那个
对
倒带，不是倒带，闪退跟卡关，
倒带是蔡依林，我们倒带是偏后的。
闪退的曲风是台湾少见的，
因为
其实也是我跟展队比较喜欢。
对不起，你刚刚说什么？
那你跟你自己比较喜欢？
他终于承认，他一直想抹杀哥哥篡位。
那你有买吗？
我有买啊，
你有买吗？
我那个
我原本想说弄你一下，
而且我是买断，就是那种一手20块30块再买。
真的假的？
现在的人愿意支持正版很少了。
然后我每次跟别人讲，别人说你干嘛买？你就用 KKBOX 听就好。然后我就说，可是我觉得买下来可以无限听，很爽。
真的卡关，
然后因为对，然后上面因为我比较早闪退，你看闪
退先买，
闪退先买，
因为闪退先出，
闪退先
我就买，
然后没有稻草，对不对？
没有稻草。
但是卡关可能你最近剪片有卡关那样，
对，偶尔会那个订阅卡关，好不好？
你哪有你？哦，对，100万
小卡，对，
哦，你现在卡住吗？
就是对啊，我已经卡。
各位路过的观众们，
是不是该订阅？
你到底在犹豫什么？
对啊，
一个这么认真拍片的人，一个这么讲求知识，我讲真的，9man的旅游影片是我看过所有 YouTuber 里面最认真的。
哇塞，你再一次 diss 到那个。
他讲，刚刚他讲，没有，我觉得大家都好棒，我觉得大家其实都蛮棒，我觉得大家都有在努力。
听我说，不是，
听我说就好。大家我觉得都有努力，
都有他的
风格。听
我也是，
观众可以自己选择。
我们今天的影片就到这边告一段落。大家如果喜欢的话呢，他们有这个谁来晚餐？
我扛，
去你的晚餐，对。还有新歌啦，2首新歌，还有阴森的也有新歌。
对，阴森的叫稻草，然后我们3个人是卡关，然后跟我弟叫闪退，
好不好
？YouTube 听得到，
先 YouTube 搜寻，对，听一听喜欢再买，
对，就可以买。
然后也可以订阅展龙展瑞的频道，对。
然后路过的各位真的要订阅9man的频道，他拍片真的很认真，是。旅游影片我扛好不好？旅游影片真的很认真。
其实我都在看你们旅游影片，
感动。好了，那记得去他们的频道看他们来拍我家。
哦，对，
第一次有人来拍我家，好不好？大家就去他们频道看，我们就下次见啦，拜拜。
大概我7月半的礼拜4自律身材咖啦，还有这个礼拜4我在哪里周啦哈 ，OK 啦，我在哪里周 ，OK。那今天我为什么要在哪里嘞？哦，那我是在谁嘞？哦，对，哦，对了哈，我在哪里嘛？对啦，我在哪里啦 ？OK，厉害啦，我在哪里？带大家抢先来看看蔡高10周年展，还没华山呐！来，抢先看。哦。 厉害厉害！呜呼！大荧幕欢迎，来，灯笼墙10周年回顾墙，文物好不好？每一年的文物，100万订阅墙，哦，英雄哎，厉害喽！这个牌楼厉害喽！这个北港朝天宫差不多这样而已啊。这边有10个游戏机，可能明天就要全部就定位了。今天大家赶工，辛苦赶工。玩游戏啦，场景重建啦，还有，哦，这个架子厉害。这边可以挂绘嘛啊，可以大门口骑一下。还有我们的周边商品区，没有东西，还没有上架，开心，好不好？明天开展了，7月6号到15号，有空来台北华山参加10周年展，好不好？我们看明天蔡会带大家去哪里？应该还是会来这里啦。明天东西就定位了嘛啊！希望蔡哥明天可以带大家来这边玩。明天见哦。
Should be fairly easy as long as they play some deep. I'd say river wards right now. Right now it's being fully controlled from Duel and Dreamer because they've had full push in the bottom side of the map.
As you can see now, putting wards down.
But as long as they can try and contest that, as long as they can look to defend bottom lane, make it a longer lane, naturally it is because Duel and Dreamer are pushing up on that one, so that when Faker and Blank can join, if it's a proper team fight, they're chasing them down a super long lane towards M17's own tower. So this could actually turn into a proper play where, yeah, they're getting pushed in, they may be losing some experience, but this is a really good opportunity for SKT if they're willing to take it. Okay, I don't like that.
Raz, nothing happened.
Upsetting.
He exhausted the Galio, put Faker to sleep, picked up a redemption, and Faker's now back close to full health.
You know, my League of Legends, I love it when people are punished for their mistakes.
We are a curse. Raz, you and I, we are the resident sleeper casting duo right now. 8 minutes, 30 seconds. No kills, no turrets, no major objectives.
You gotta build up the tension, Fish. You gotta be able, sometimes the kills aren't dished to you. In fact, they may never happen. But as long as people think that it's going to happen, take a look at this, they're in close proximity to each other. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Oh, there is going to be a kill, Raz.
No! Run.
So he's alive.
He
just dives, he dives into the river. He acknowledges that you asserted dominance and now that he has to help you, provide vision.
Is that what happened?
He doesn't die. Scuttle Crab never dies.
Okay.
He just belongs to the rift.
I'm willing to believe that.
But that's the only kill we've seen so far. It's been a very slow match. If SKT are looking to attack the bottom lane, they probably have to wait for Wolf to hit 6. What are Machi meant to do?
But look, I'm actually blaming Machi on this one. I think Crash has been trying to defend topside more than he should be looking for plays in the mid lane. A lot of the times, he has the key to the city right now. You know, the fact that he was able to hit 6 so easily without Blank really finding any lead in the top side of the map, he shouldn't be top lane. That just shouldn't be happening unless the mission has a freedom there. Go mid first, then move to the next lane. I don't care what lane it is, as long as you make it a 3v1 dive in the top side of the map, or on the bottom side of the map, you can make it a 4v5. I don't really care. But he's not going for the first step. In fact, the mission is only pushing mid, and that's what happens. As long as you can tag team, great. But right now, it's a solo mission from Crash.
He's picking up a nice bits of farm for himself, 65 to 50 against Blank. Machi have not made that aggressive play just yet. We just saw that in 6 of the games that SKT have played in the LCK, they've only been ahead at 15. Only 6 times. In fact, they're currently sitting technically 8th on the table, 3 and 5 in score.
I'm gracious, man. I'll give him 7.
Machi's not having a good split either. They're currently 0 and 3 in the LMS.
But SKT coming into this one are favorites.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. And the reason why a lot of the times they don't end up getting these leads, I mean, if you feel like you have that Faker insurance in the back pocket, you play towards it. This time around, they're playing towards Bang. Bang, an exceptional carry historically. We'll see if it ends up coming across. That being said, we got ourselves a pet dragon.
Feels like a time for SKT to attack there, right? As Dragon's been taken, but Machi, good control over the river, got good wards down. SKT didn't know till it's too late. Now they've got a Dragon for themselves, and Door's going to walk it down the bottom lane to continue adding pressure onto Bang as well as Wolf.
And had they had the vision of their understanding that was a play that was being made, it would have been working out well for themselves. Blank is in the position to respond, but remember Galio's pinned underneath his own tower. Zoe's coming here. So M17 is actually in a really proper position with the Dragon. So just play it back and let the pet do his thing.
Damage, but Door's just using it to poke at both Bang as well as Wolf, clear up these waves. No major play being made by Machi on the bottom side of the map. It has, however, kept Blank in this bottom lane. It's been looking to see if anything does happen so we can get a counter going. We go back to farming, we go back to mid lane where Mission's actually zoning Faker at the moment, but Wolf as well as Blank.
Let's go.
Flash, respect flash coming out from Mission as well, getting away from Faker. Summon spells Blank.
There we go. I mean, that's already the best play that was made in the game. Let's see if this one turns better.
He's going to be caught out of position. Ignite is ticking from Mission, puts him to sleep, looking for the paddle star. Good damage, locked down, and it's first blood to Crash.
Where are you going? I mean, look, he didn't have flash. He was stuck behind the wall. There's no way for him to go. So Mission, Crash, exceptional play to follow up with the ultimate. So he was just sitting still. And now they can take this mid lane tower.
They bring Dreamer into the mid lane. They keep Crash here with Mission. They chip away the mid lane outer, but they're not going to be able to take it down with everyone collapsing. One more player going to be put to sleep. Wolf tries to dash away. But Mission's always looked good so far. Yeah,
so far so good. Just play to it, please. And so, like, I understand what Crash is thinking. It's actually very difficult to ever find a hard advantage if you're ganking a Galio. He has a dash, resolve, primary tree. He's super tanky. You're not going to get the kill. You'd be lucky if you get a flash out of him. But a lot of it is that you're supposed to take it to the next step. You push him out of the lane, that should be good enough. You get vision control. Yeah, they've been doing well on the bottom side of the map, but then you make use of it and actually, lead her to the bottom lane. That still needs to be done. While you still got the kill on towards Faker, bottom lane tower is still up. You chipped at it. Now you got to be able to take it down. These are steps that they need to, take, processes that you need to have if you want to take down SKT.
But they still picked up a lead for themselves. 1,500 head, 13 minutes in, which is a decent lead to have. Do you think that they have to snowball even harder here? It's an SKT that has the late game, and they can sit back and relax almost.
Yep. I mean, looking at the composition that SKT have, a lot of it is very nice in terms of zone control from Swain once he actually joins a team fight. The initial team fight setting that Rakan Galio provides, and also just, Bang is going to be firing. And the problem with a Mordekaiser is the lack of range that he provides later on. He's not going to be doing too much.
Gank into the mid lane, stun, locks down Mission, gets back to his turret, but locked down and uses the stopwatch. Dreamer is here, gonna knock up Blake, but interrupted coming out of Wolf. Great Rakan play. Bang joins the fight, ultimates forward, pulls back the feathers, but it's not going to get the last one onto Mission. Machi disengaged.
Yeah, and even though they're alive, remember, they all have to base. This could be a great opportunity for SKT to push up and take this tower. I'd do it. Where are you going? Why did they all leave the lane?
Not everyone. Duel and Faker are still here. Come on, Raz.
Drake needs to release the next song of I'm Upset. It keeps happening. I will always be upset.
Why does that make you upset? Do you want to come talk about your feelings?
All right. So that team fight was phenomenal from SKT. Remember that at these kind of games, you saw the last one, how that turns out. Back timings are so important. So yeah, sure, you don't get a kill for yourself, but you know that two crucial members that are going to be looking to wave clear mid had to go back to base. And so to counteract the push that M17 had mid, you want to be able to do that yourself. You had Bang for that one. So I think that they were too concerned about their own back time. And I think that they actually could have pushed the limit a little bit more.
Yeah, well, they go back to base, they pick up a few items for themselves. Rod of Age is completely done. Faker's not done just yet. Still components of the first item coming out from Bang. They don't get the mid lane turret. They're slowly chipping away at the bottom lane. Outer Machi have done a good job at that. And next Dragon's going to spawn in a minute 30.
Yeah, I mean, right now that's going to turn into a double Cloud Dragon for M17 with the pressure that they have if they can actually convert.
They're going to run real quick. They get it.
Look at the Sejuani right now. She's already gone to the next step, doesn't need the help. Oh, wait a second, look at top
lane. They already got some good chip damage onto 3Z, forcing a flash. He flashes forward, pulls it back, and gets the Force Lightning! Solo kill in the top lane for SKT.
Feel confidence, and the man has TP too, so this play, I don't know about this one, M17.
Response coming out from Machi, looking for a fight in the bot lane. They try to lock down Blank. Faker joins in, can't get Dreamer, but so much damage! Gets the taunt, great pulverize, but Machi not long for this world. Even Swain joining winning this fight. They separate Duel. They're going to be able to take down the Mordekaiser. He slowly tries to heal back up, but the low sweep will be enough. 2 more kills for SKT.
I mean, they tried to burn down Blank, and guess who was the real damage dealer there? Bang was going straight through them, and ultimately, SK team coming out ahead. They don't even need the TP from Thal. Thal was just not really needed in the situation at all, and it just going to mean that SKT is finally going to get this tower. Really poor teamfight timing coming out of M17. I actually saw no opportunity for them to actually come out ahead in that one.
Unfortunately, doesn't work out. They lose the solo kill. They lose the team fight. SKT push for the turret. Not enough damage to take it down yet. 3Z and Mission will hold on to that structure for a few more waves, but the gold is now dead even. SKT equalized that lead that Machi were able to pick up. But they're not out of the woods just yet. Not out of the woods just yet, Raz. Still very even. Machi still have a good composition to look for these fights. They just have to set up aggressively. So what went wrong in that setup?
In that setup, remember with the top lane that ended up happening, if the burst actually did come through on towards Blank, if they got the kill, you still needed an exit strategy because you don't have consistent damage. The issue with M17's composition is that if Darius isn't in the team fight, then you're looking at a Zoe that's all skill shots. Sure, if she's having a phenomenal time getting Sleepy Trouble Bubbles, then that's something you can play around. But Mordekaiser ain't gonna do it. Take a look at this. The damage, the follow-up ain't there. The team fight setup from Galio, well done. Zoe, sure, she got some deeps on towards Wolf, but from that point forward, you're getting full damage from the Xayah pick. And it just doesn't make too much sense on the side of M17. You have to play around your comp. The primary damage dealer is going to be Zoe if she gets a pick, or the Darius if he's going from front to back.
Bang's having a great time in Spore. If the only range champion that Machi are going to pick up is Zoe, means that 4 melee champions are going to be in range for that Xayah. I can't find the word. Penetrating auto attack that goes through multiple melee champions. During that replay, Machi able to pick up another dragon. That Dragon Boy looking for a turret in the bottom lane.
There we go.
Could be the first turret. SKT might have lost out on the push in the mid lane, and Machi will break first structure.
Yeah, but now I actually favor this from SKT because, yeah, sure, you lose the bottom lane tower and you might have to still defend if the wave is coming in through. But the Rift Herald means that you can look to make a play off of it. Because a lot of times people will say, oh, you know, Rift Herald turns into 1 tower, maybe even just a little bit more. But with the composition that they have, they can actually commit around the Rift Herald with the composition with the Galio Rakan dive. So I want to see if they're set up around blue side jungle, if they have deep enough control wards so they can hide Wolf, if they can like hide Blank's flank as well. So there's a lot of opportunities you have here.
There are. But we get a chance to look in at the items that have been picked up by multiple teams. Because yes, SKT can look to set up with the Rift Herald, but Blank's going back to base. They're pushing him in waves. Everyone's recalling to pick up items here and there. Rod of Ages is stacking for both of the AP carries of SKT. Storm Razor's being picked up by Bang going for that item, not going towards the S3, which was nerfed slightly in the 8.13 patch. For the side of M17, Trinity Force being picked up by Darius. We see Double Aegis being picked up by Sejuani as well as Alistar. There is not going to be Banner of Command in this patch. That should be going towards Locket, you'd expect.
Yeah, and just like focusing on towards, before we see what the Rift Herald actually damage it can do, towards what Bang end up building, because going the Storm Razors here, initial, best bang for your buck, right? The fact that you can actually get the initial crit item, if you're in a team fight, you deal a lot more damage than what an Essence Reaper could provide for you. Well, Essence Reaper, a lot of people say, well, actually, no, but you get so much, like, you can get a second cooldown off of your E. A lot of your feathers actually, that's fantastic for you. But that's assuming that you actually use your ultimate at the beginning of the fight. And I don't see initial dive from M17. So I don't see a reason for Bang to use his ultimate right at the beginning of a fight. So compositionally, I don't see that being a thing. I think that Bang has showcased that he's comfortable running the team fight front to back. And then he can hold on towards his ultimate if there is a second wave, if a Dreamer walks up to him later on in the team fight. So how the fights are played, I think is why the items actually came through.
Zonius was the first item to be picked up by Duel, trying to mitigate some of the damage that will come out from SKT's roster, try and get away from some of the crowd control as well. Mordekaiser will be packing a punch in these fights, but has to get access to the backline, which seems to be difficult with this composition. But SKT during that time, during that conversation, Raz and I just said, were able to take down bottom lane out to turret with a cute use of the Rift Herald. Top lane was pressured by Swain, and Thal was able to take that down as well, which picks him up a nice 1,000 gold lead over Machi.
Yeah, and from this point forward, if you're asking,
gay 掰的画面一定要放在片头，但这些都不是重点。原本想说拍个 vlog 影片，但我发现我偷爱骑车，摩托车占了我青春很大的部分，所以每次出游我都会记录下来。以后老了看了也会笑场。这系列还想不到适合我，就暂时叫做 vlog 好了。
顺利的来到不厌体，但是这不是我们最终要去的地方。我们到时候要去的是。
才是人类。你好，快就定位。Hello， 只要大家都尽好本分，胜利就势在必得。这有什么特别的吗？就是这样，我不这么认为。你真是缺乏想象力。嗨。
距离进攻还有30秒。
Hello。我不大喜欢自己动手，但这次我会亲自出面解决。你真是缺乏想象力。
那么5、4、3、2、1。开始进攻，占领目标 A。我的是化为现实。
发现炮塔，推快！
敌人的炮塔，你摧毁敌方炮塔，化为现实。
找到敌方炮塔了。
有敌方炮塔，效率达到巅峰。看我这招！我的工作尚未完成。化为现实。
消灭敌方炮塔。
传送器运作正常，能快速启动。
摧毁敌方的炮塔了。
在我面前，我的工作尚未完成。
我们的消灭敌方炮塔。
英雄永不消逝。传送器运作正常，能快速移动了。
占领据点，
这就是真实的威力。
发现炮塔，
看我这招！
先拿下这个目标，才能继续下去。我进入目标区了，过来集合。摧毁敌方的炮塔了。
这就是真实的威力。
有敌方炮塔，
我的传送器已启
动。目标会是我。
还有许多事情要做，
还剩60秒。
消灭敌方炮塔。
我们还需要你。我的传送器
还剩30秒。
敌方有炮塔了，有敌方炮塔，小心点。
刚刚聊到哪了？
消灭敌方炮塔。
还剩10秒，
快行动！
我会修正先前的失误。
发现炮塔，
我叫麦卡利。
失败。精彩重播。
感受毁灭的力量，
双杀。欢迎来到好莱坞。做好防御准备，选择英雄。
哟，大家一起来！嘿，太畅快了！干嘛那么生气？干嘛那么生气？不！
攻击方 方将于30秒后开始行动。
希望你有空去看场曲棍球。
非得用武力解决一切吗？
5、4、3、2、1，攻击方出动了，防守目标 A。
大概等一下。闪开了。 样就对了。闪开了！
臣服于我的意志。
滚开！给我站住！闪开了！
发现敌人，你还不能死！
闪开了！加快速度喽！闪开了！大家加速前进！大家质量一下！闪开了！要加快速度！我是音乐治疗专家。
我的意志化为心。
加速喽！该换首曲子了。感受疗愈节奏。
为了英灵殿，
冷静点啊！走开！大声点！
就是真实的威力。在臣服于我的意志。
瞧瞧我们的厉害！耶，加速吧！希望刚刚没人看到。
目标即将抵达。
任务开始！围住吧！
你的身体。
学到教训了。上学吧！
失败。精彩重播。
在我面前屈服吧！
双杀。
我要去买芋圆
啊，买芋圆，
买芋圆。
我以为那是什么餐厅。
买芋圆，
这边就是不愿意大家最常拍照的地方。刚刚就要靠右边一点，一骑过来碾到石头，直接摔车。现在不是说男生不帮哦，是他就是要学习如何自己骑挡车。我第一次看有人在路口就摔的啊，对啊。这应该是他刚摔倒的痕迹。对，好。
而且你们都没有拍到。
现在来到林道路口灿光寮古道。
那我们要去九份老街吗？
不要，这个花枝一小份就100块，他妈超贵的。因为就是卖给你这个死观光客的。
从小就很喜欢大自然，可能也是因为这样，长大骑车都往山里跑，迎到很多美景及动物。运气好的话，还有一些老外。
现在到哪啦？
我怎么知道？
我们刚刚从那一头，然后再骑下来这边，不错啊。骑到现在，你就只有在路口的时候摔车而已。你竟然在林道里面都没有摔车，我有点惊讶。他骑着跑胎就进来了。虽然说这个路算蛮简单，就算是跑胎也是会有点滑，所以你应该是我们3个之中骑的最辛苦的。
左手很酸，捏离合器捏到手好痛。这是不是对男生比较有利？
我想要左手也可以，右手也可以。
也可以什么啦？
突然骑一骑就开始下雨了，九份这边天气都是这样子，我们就等雨稍微小一点再上去吧。
I would say We were good together.
我们终于到了，可是今天是我来过有史以来天气最差的一次。
真的假的？
那边有个河市都看不到了。好天气来的话，你可以看到下面的云海。中华电信满格。
我是只有超有距离。
不行，这要逼掉。
在基地台上面。
对，这电磁波超强。你知道这片是什么吗？
太阳能板。
错。
电视墙。
没错，这是看世界杯足球赛的时候打出去的。
真的假的？
它是全台唯一一个在山顶上的。
好酷啊！
它的讯号都是吃中华电信。
他们都说我家网络太远了，不能牵成光纤。
这个是给飞机看的。
我上面的耗电好快啊！
干，我以为你要说又被骗了，就你完全知道我在骗你，是不是？
啊，你没有骗我！我好希望我爱德华一样的机械手，左手。
你刚刚那是什么姿势？
就是我现在手很酸。
这边以前可能都会有些水路。
你不要再骗我了。
我是说真的啦，而且这边除了水路以外，就是还会有很多的保险套在下面。
为什么要在这里？
它这边呢，好像有4台摄影机吧。下去是阴阳海，就是我们从金瓜湖。
你刚刚没发现吗？
我刚刚真的没发现。白痴！正超近的，差点就从这边瞬间消失。
这很陡，但是可以上得去。
可以吗？
可以。
fuck！这芒草感觉很割呢。这边可以坐着。
元素王。
可能是他们以前当兵的时候会上来看一下那个，可能是站岗的地点之一哦，就是看那边大陆会不会攻过来。
真的假的？
对啊，就跟我们以前当海巡的时候一样。
对面是大陆哦。
这边应该算是东部吧？
我不知道那边是哪啦，我乱说的。
我当初忘记拍 ending 了。所以只好拿着 gay 白的画面来当做片尾。这是我的第一支 V-Roll 的影片，下一支什么时候会出我也不知道，反正拍片嘛，开心就好喽。
Hello，
拍那个什么虾皮的那个时候，它下面还有留言说鸡突杀小，
镜头这样扫过去，然后就看到这2点的。
真的假的？
我就天生鸡突吼，
那就穿厚一点的衣服嘛。
我厚一点我是要热死，我跟你讲，我穿厚一点也是一样，再怎么厚衣服我还是让它凸起来的。所以没办法。
红茶小ですか？
好，这个牛津大学啊，人类未来研究所指出呢，人类可能是宇宙唯一高智慧物种，搞不好在我们探测范围以外，对不对？还有更高的人在看什么？对，一只小八七，对，小八七还以为自己最跳，对嘛？
自己最跳，
随便剪几个狗拍一张，哎，大家都不见了，大家都直接 Windows 98，好不好？噔，好走，注意啊，打碎了啊！噔，各位，来个大的，还可以啦，还不错 ，Fish Go，
哒！
直接砍出这7个月最痛的一刀这是全游戏最痛的一刀我太吧！我靠！太猛了，这个真的是太厉害了，太扯了！你上去40大洪水，谢谢，走，搞清楚。
And just like that, the final game of day 1 has arrived. Rogue Warriors KT Rolster. What could be a decider for early seeding going into tomorrow, because right now the LPL and the LCK are tied at 2 wins apiece. Gentlemen, welcome back. This game is going to be a peach, I suppose, as we get into this. Look, we got to start at the beginning. For those of you who don't really watch the LPL that much, Rogue Warriors, a newer team, they joined in spring. Clement, break it down for us. What are we looking for with this team?
So you might have seen SMLZ the last time with OMG, but he's here to bring in a new team with him. Doinby, Mouse, and of course Flawless and Kahlua, all excellent players in their own place. And they have been at the top of their league for quite a while, only being knocked down by EDG. They were used to be all about the big 5v5s, playing around SMLZ. But this split, they've moved along with the meta. ADs are less important. And Doinby says that he is the super carry right now. The most obvious thing about their compositions, he's always playing bruisers in the mid lane. The Kled and the Aatrox do come to mind as he charges in and becomes a vanguard for his team.
That champion pool is insane, by the way. You look at most players, oh yeah, the Kledman, all right. And then you think back to spring season, he was Rise with Righteous Glory and other utility items. He very much knows his role. And you're right, that's kind of my take on them as well. They've unlocked this SMLZ or nothing, and now sometimes it's the supportive tank mid laner getting more resources and allowing Flawless to go super aggressive. He's been a bit up and down. But Rogue Warrior is always a treat, and the question I posed earlier when they faced KT Rolster is, would KT dare to play Funnel, a comp that's all about doing its own thing, against an opponent that could be doing anything?
Yeah, because we've seen Rogue Warriors actually counter the Funnel very well. Doinby and Flawless are very strong 2v2, and they also do like to do the early level 1 invades just to take it away from them. So they definitely know what they're up against.
Of course, we do have to quickly thank our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz, Logitech, SPD Bank, and of course ROG. But to get even more into this, I want to take a look at the mid lane specifically. Doinby versus UCal looks to be like a lot of fun, because Doinby, he's the guy who can't play anything. You talked a little bit about the Righteous Glory Rise. Well, Flandre has been playing that for Snake on the other side. Is this a chance that we can see Doinby bring out new Aatrox in the mid lane?
Yes, 100% yes. The whispers of that pick is there, and I love the posters already between Doinby and UCal, a Korean mid lane battle. Those most played champions let you know that we know already the Korean teams in the last 2 have impressed us with their flex picks. Doinby's pick, you don't really know it to all 5 champions alone.
Yeah, you just don't know what he's going to do. Of course, he is a Korean import. Didn't play in LCK, however, was scouted right from the... Yes, exactly. From the ladder directly into the LPL, and I want to see him go for this vaunted smite mid strategy that we've been hearing so much about. Bruisers with AoE, you know, the Talon, the Aatrox, or even the Karthus and Azir. We're seeing that in solo queue so much right now. And if there's one person to bring something new, it's going to be Doinby.
I just want to point out, you say we've been hearing it so much. I feel like you're the only one that's really been talking about it
it's
a
on
bunch.
solo queue, just
okay, all right. We'll keep our eye on whether or not that's going to be the case. But still, there's a lot more to dissect outside of this as well. Smeb versus Mouse also looks to be like quite a fun matchup.
Smeb can definitely, on his day, read an opponent like a book. So very interesting to see how Smeb goes. It's Smeb score, UCal, Deft, and Mun. No sign of rush. I'm sure a lot of the global fans sad not to see their vanguard. But KT looking strong in their previous game.
On their other side, Mouse, Flawless, Doinby, SMLZ, and Kahlua.
The big ones, of course, are SMLZ and Doinby, the 2 major carries, but the supporting cast are doing very well as well. The traditional blue-collar top laner in the Mouse, we would like to forget that matchup against Smeb, but we do have to remember their coach is Stake, and Stake had a very good showing in 2015 against Smeb. Smeb actually said it was the hardest matchup in groups for him.
If you're going to start pulling out history, though, some of those Mouse versus Korean top matchups are also pretty awkward, so you're right. Maybe fast forward for this one. We're a family-friendly broadcast.
Well, then in that case, let's get to some of the nitty-gritty details for this. I want to see the banter. I want to see the flame. We've got our LCK representative, our LPL representative. Gentlemen, who's taking this? Papa, you start us off.
Betting on KT.
Yeah?
The roller coaster.
That one is, that's already a trouble. But I think KT looked really good, but we didn't learn anything. They played a funnel comp. It was a different one. That seemed like a one-and-done pre-planned strategy. Now a lot of people will scout that out. I feel like we're no closer to knowing about KT, and it's also Rogue Warriors' first game. My first thought is KT, because of their early game strength, maybe they can take it away from the side of Rogue Warriors. But if a couple of kills go the way of Doinby,
you keep shaking your head no.
I'm trying, I'm wearing the pin, but I'm still not sure. Okay. 50% KT.
I'm going to go with Rogue Warriors because KT, I don't think they're as clean of a team. Sure. Even against Griffin, they went even in kills. And if you give Rogue Warriors just a good team fight with their bruiser compositions, with the hyper-scaling carry in SMLZ, you're not going to see the late game.
All right, well, we'll see what it's going to be as the desk is divided. As we go, though, let's hear for Smeb's thoughts on this matchup.
굉장히 좀 게임을 많이 보진 못했지만 좀 새로운 시도를 많이 하는 팀이라고 알고 있거든요. 그래서 좀 그 새로운 시도를 많이 하는 그 도인비 선수가 가장 좀 경계 대상인 것 같아요. 일단 마우스 선수는 제가 개인적으로 제일 좋아하는 탑라이너거든요. 중국 선수들 중에. 그래서 굉장히 재밌을 것 같고 그리고 이제 저희 팀원들 중에서도 EDG 출신이 있잖아요. 그래서 네, 그런 점도 좀 재밌는 것 같아요.
Dark technology, as well as former teammates, Raz. That's what Smeb's insight in on this match against Rogue Warriors is.
Yeah, he's been hearing whispers. The dark techniques of Doomby is definitely something you have to fear. The Kled ban already coming through. Mouse doesn't play that champion. Doesn't happen.
Techniques, not technology. Thank goodness I don't speak for a living, but you're right. Immediately the Doinby ban comes out. No, that's not going to be Kled in the top lane. Mouse doesn't play that champion. He plays Dr. Mundo. Banned out against Doinby. Aatrox actually been taken away by Rogue Warriors with Nocturne, Swain to follow. Camille as well as Talia being banned out by KT. They lock in Sejuani as their first pick.
And here's the problem that I see in this matchup. Because Clement makes a mention of it. KT ain't that clean of a team. We just got to get a game. When they're pretty much handled Mad in a very clean fashion post-15. So love to see what ends up happening with that team if they are as clean as they were in the last game.
Well, we'll have to see if they can be as clean as that. Because that last match coming out from KT, they went for a different type of funnel composition. Worked out for them. It was a 5-kill game, Raz. 5 kills.
Yep.
I could have taken a nap and I would have gotten more kills in my solo queue game.
It is as clean as you can get in terms of macro. And that's if you're playing some vision control that KT placed in the last game, then the worry is that Rogue Warriors don't. They don't ward as much as they should. They don't set up as much as they should. They are a hectic team, they are a skirmishing team, they are a fighting team, and we'll see if KT falls into that trap.
Exactly. Why ward when you can just brawl, Raz? And they've already picked up Lucian as one of the champions they want to brawl with. Going for Skarner as their second pick for Flawless in the jungle.
And so far, the best Lucian player that we see in the LPL is SMLZ. He's played it frequently, he's the Essence Reaver type, and he's been skating in team fights. He's super damn good, and a lot of the skirmishes he's been rolling with.
We've had so many conversations about this, like who's the best Lucian player? Come on, you can't keep out the likes of iBoy.
This split, SMLZ has gone in towards it repeatedly. iBoy has had one fantastic play, but it feels like every game for SMLZ and the Lucian pick has been phenomenal. So that's why, based off consistency alone, I give it to SMLZ. You saw the stats coming up. It's been really damn good.
Well, last 2 picks in the first draft from KT were Ezreal as well as Tahm Kench. For the side of Rogue Warriors, their final pick hovered between Nami as well as Soraka. Not surprised by either. Killua's had 2 games on those champions, and when he paired up with SMLZ's Lucian, he just never died. That Soraka is able to keep their AD carry alive for so long.
So KT should very easily recognize what Rogue Warriors are going for here. Killua does this often, you made a mention of it. Mage support repeatedly to protect SMLZ in the bottom side of the map. They get ganked repeatedly, and a lot of their response is, hey, if Killua dies, that's fine, as long as SMLZ is getting the farm, he's getting pressure in the lane, and he can come back in these mid-game skirmishes and team fights and provide the damage that he has. So right now, this is looking like a great composition for Rogue Warriors. That being said, not a lot of pick potential. Just the Skarner alone, you usually see that coming out of the support pool as well. So it looks like they're fairly focused on just the Skarner unless, you know, we see an Orin pick up in the top lane.
Well, they get 1 counter pick, so we'll have to see what that's going to be. The Rogue Warriors have to pick their final champion now. 2 bans towards Mouse in the top lane. He's only played 4 champions in summer split of the LPL. 8 of those games were on Mundo. Had a couple of on as well, and the rest of them were tanks. Only 1 match on the carry, and that was Rise. So offering this pick is a little bit surprising, whereas for side of Rogue Warriors, they're also seeming to attack the top side with Jace and Kennen being banned out, but Rumble getting locked in for Mouse.
And a lot of it just like...
Hello?
Yep. Yep. And remember, you cast your mind back to Mouse on EDG, because a lot of these players have previous homes, and Mouse did play Rumble, but it's not the carry Rumble. It's the Rumble where you're trying to be a low econ Rumble. You're playing to the bottom lane still, and if there's a play happening top lane, if there's, like, you're trading towers, Rumble's throwing in the ulti to push the wave back. Or you're getting into team fights, he throws the ulti and still doing a lot of damage. Issues that it's going to be a Rumble that's very vulnerable. And so KT now has a target in Mouse's back in the early game.
Let's see if they can actually hit that target, however, because so far, a very tanky roster coming out from KT. Galio being picked up, most likely heading into the mid lane with Sejuani in the jungle, Ezreal and Tahm bottom lane. So final pick towards top side of the map against that Rumble pick. I mean, at this point, who knows? Ooh! Slam dunk time, right? It's Jarvan being picked up.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a spoiler alert because there are 2 smites being flexed up by the Motha mid laner and the
what's
jungler.
going on?
So I'm expecting that to be a Jarvan mid lane. And here, let me do,
yes! Give it to me, Doinby picking up the Talon.
Yes,
Super
man.
carry Doinby is back.
He's played this before. Previous splits, he has a large champion pool. And the thing about going up against double jungle or the roaming strat, Talon is really good for that. Tracks you down. And so having that roam potential off the Talon, being able to track the junglers, I want to see, it looks like it's going to be a Jarvan top without any flexing, no double jungling at all. That's a good thing, because right now you want to hide Sejuani as much as possible early on in this game.
Even
more.
He's
feeling himself.
Even more crazy picks coming out from Doinby. He's put the Aatrox in the mid lane. Now he's picking up Talon. We're not going to see that double smite coming out from KT, but it's a Jarvan heading to the top lane. Galio in the mid lane. The final battle between LCK and LPL for day 1 of Rift Rivals. The last match that KT will play during the group stage. And they pulled out the Jarvan in the top lane. Whereas for Coach Steak on your screen, he's like, nope. We're going to give the LMS something to fear in day 2. Let's show them what this talent can do.
And it's flexing individual skill, because their composition doesn't have very much teamfight strength. It depends on how you place the Rumble ultis. If your Rumble ult, if Mouse has a phenomenal Rumble ulti placement throughout the entire game, I ain't going to say anything. But with just off the Skarner alone, just off his pick potential, it's very easy for KT to look at this composition and say, we're playing back. But they have so much raw damage that if Rogue Warriors ever find an early game lead, you'll have Doinby constantly looking roam and dive, and the TPs from Rumble will follow up. It's a team that can snowball very quickly.
I mean, these are 2 teams that's a meta breakers, Raz. That's what we call the Rogue Warriors in the LPL. Picking up unorthodox champions over and over again, unorthodox strategies as well. KT experimenting with the current meta. Kindred in the jungle being shown by them. We've seen Mordekaiser being picked up 6 times in the bottom lane by KT. These 2 teams really experimenting with the meta, and even down to their matchup alone, things have been changed.
And this time around, we haven't even made a mention of it because there's so much happening on the screen that Jarvan's been picked up as a top laner. And a lot of it's just based around the fact that we would love to see a Jarvan Galio composition.
Are we season 1 again? Is it going to be double-hearted gold going into the top lane?
If only we can just
give me that
dig straight into the black market and just pick up ourselves a few of them.
Costs 300 extra gold.
There we go. Still have it. That being said, problem is, you're looking at this, is that Jarvan Galio not going to be, it depends on the top lane. And here's the thing, it looks like top lane is going to be the priority a lot of times. Rumble's going to be feeling the pain. It's much more easier to access that kind of dive potential top lane, and left is a TP to the bottom side of the map. That's the intricacies of the KT matchup, their teamfight composition. So Mouse has to be very patient. He has to be very aware of his surroundings, because if Flawless misses out one ward, it doesn't path towards him when he should. When a wave is crashing, he needs to bounce out of there.
Is he that type of player though, Rez? Is Mouse the person that's meant to be hyper aware? Is he someone that is very patient at the top lane?
That's why they picked him up. Like in EDG, that was his identity. Like they always played towards the bottom side of the map, and it was Mouse that was supposed to be low econ, push the pressure away, respect the enemy team until you bide your time for team fights. It was very strong strategically picking him up for this team so they can play around the true carries, but doing BN SMLZ, and that's what they're playing towards today.
He is up against Smeb though. This is a world-class top laner. We saw what Smeb could do in their last match. I mean, in a tank-on-tank matchup, Dr. Mundo against Singe, it looked like in every single small skirmish, he had kill pressure, no matter what the situation was.
Yeah, and you know what Jarvan's going to do. If he finds a situation post-6, wonder if he's picking up Electrocute, we'll find out in game, that if he ever finds a Rumble, he doesn't even necessarily need the help of his own jungler. That he can even just blow Flash, and immediately you know that Sejuani is going to be pathing to upside. So Mouse has to be super respectful, and a pick that, remember, if you don't play Rumble, knowing when you push out, you need the help a lot of times, because if you're trading with your Flame Spitter, you're also pushing the lane passively, you're setting up for a gank a lot of the time. Flawless, even though he wants to be pulling towards bottom lane, there are going to be times where he's going to be pulling top lane because there's an unsafe wave. So there are so many small things about how Mouse has to play this matchup so he doesn't lose too much that matter here if Rogue Warriors want to pick up the early game win.
I mean, Smev could try and force fights top lane as well. You've got the Galio in the mid lane being picked up by KT, so their top side is very brawl heavy. Tons of crowd control, great synergy with Sejuani's passive, with both of them being melee champions. We're really looking towards bottom lane as well. SMLZ, the hyper carry for the side of Rogue Warriors. When Doinby is not put on a carry like Talonlord, he's not playing a champion like Kled or Aatrox in the mid lane, he is that support. We know him for picking up supports in the mid lane. We know him, as Papa Smithy was talking on the desk earlier, for that man that builds things like Righteous Glory on Rides, goes as tanky as he can, but can carry at the same time. We're really looking to try and see who is going to carry harder here. The super carrier of Doinby Talon, or the emotionless robot that is SMLZ.
That's usually when you look at your watch and start biding time. We're about to get into this game because Talon's going to come in really early, right out the gate, having the damage, but SMLZ is going to bide his time when he has the items.
No easy match though, because yes, two great carries from the side of Rogue Warriors up against world-class players on the side of KT. We're getting to the final match of day one of Rift Rivals. KT roster taking on Rogue Warriors. Not even cohesion, Raz. Crowd doesn't even know who they're chanting for now. Just together in unison.
Oh, they'll come.
I mean, we were excited for the first match today. RNG taking off Flash Wolves, major upset. Flash Wolves taking it down decisively in the latter half of the game as well. This was the match I have been looking forward to. KT against Rogue Warriors.
I was on the desk. This was the match that I pointed out. I mean, it made a lot of sense that they scheduled this one to be the last match because it's the one that answered a lot of questions of who is the stronger one of the two. If China had the LPL teams had a stronger setting, a deeper pool in teams, you see a lot of
SMLZ fans in the audience.
A lot of focus on him.
I mean, if you are new to, the LPL in general, SMLZ is dubbed as the man that has no emotion. We've seen him carry games for his team, where Doinby at the end of the match has fallen out of his chair, started dancing behind the team. And SMLZ emotionless, not a single smile.
Doesn't even look at him.
Doesn't even look at anything. Just looks at his screen, checks his stats, and then walks off the stage.
Man is very focused on one thing, as playing the damn game. That's a lot of laning phase stats come through. Team fights, he's just razor focused on his character and his character alone. So yeah, I feel like he's focused on one thing, and while Doinby is an entertainer who can perform, SMLZ cuts the man in the middle.
Yes. We're looking across from SMLZ's lane though. Deft now back in China, playing here at Dalian. He's gone back to the LCK to play for KT, paired up with Mata. These are just two names that you look on a roster and say, okay, this is going to be near impossible no matter who is going up against them. World-class players.
Yeah. Deft and Mata has had a large name, has been through LPL teams, had massive success on their RNGs and EDGs. They're doing quite well. In fact, if you're looking towards the LCK bottom laners, them and Prey and Gorilla are the only ones that are coming in with real strength, real power. So it's a good test for Rogue Warriors to see if SMLZ and Kilo are up to snuff, because there's a lot of debate about the LPL AD carries. Bringing four super strong ones. SMLZ is one of them.
I mean, we've heard from Killua. It just feels like he understands SMLZ, a man that doesn't speak too much. And it's worked out well for him in the LPL. Now we have to see what KT roster is made of in this matchup.
I want to focus on the runes. You don't get to see him a lot.
Predator.
I was expecting Electrocute, but in fact, Predator, so he can look to roam out or find or catch a pick really strong. And then Time Warp Tonic is another one that I'm looking towards, as well as Stopwatch. So that's going to be fun to see. He's getting skirmished on.
Big damage coming out from Yukao in that mid lane. Chunks out Doinby, low on mana, and there's a Sejuani nearby. Does back away. Score forces him back to base.
And you notice that Flawless, of course, is on his Gromp camp, so he's not going to have the help there. He needs to base now, come back in. doesn't have the TP available for himself, so he's going to have to book it.
Force is going to be looking to try and hit level 6 and pick up his boots as fast as possible as well, picking up Predator on his Skarner. Seems like Doinby has Predator back into lane as well. Running straight down mid lane, jumping over turrets, gone for Cleanse as his summoner spell of choice.
Easy. Easy to get back to the lane for the wave, and the Cleanse makes it so there's no gank opportunity. Remember, this is a lot of CC on the side of KT's jungle mid. So if he ever gets cat up by taunt, he can Cleanse flash immediately and doesn't have to follow through with the Sejuani ulti.
And that seems to be the focus coming out from KT, because you've got a very safe bottom lane of Ezreal Tahm-Kench. Oh, takes a lot of damage from SMLZ, not in danger of falling there, but still good trades. And yes, very safe bottom lane from KT Roster, but top side is very CC heavy. How do they use this to win the game?
Top side of KT is CC heavy?
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. I would say, I already made a mention that it's usually difficult to get Smeb in the fold just because the Jarvan combination is very important in all of it. And so if you're going towards the bottom lane, it's usually easy to get the gank on towards Soraka, but it's hard to set up for. What is easy to set up for is the dive on towards Rumble. So I would expect them to actually have and place more vision controls. They already have a proper control ward being placed towards the top side of the map, as you can see in the top side river. Take advantage of that. It's not an electrocute on towards Jarvan, as I mentioned, I was looking out for. It's going to be the Grass Neon dying. So it might not be the upfront damage, but he has a proper follow-up. So that's something that Mouse has to really respect. Take a look at the wave. And he's just sitting there because he knows that he cannot walk out. Doesn't know where Sejuani is, even though she's in the opposite side of the map.
Got a very early recall. You can see Rumble picking up Comet in the top lane. Put down a control ward in his own Tri-Brush to try and give him some vision control. Smeb yet to go back to base. Is ahead by 20 CS at the moment. Mouse will be able to equalize with this small wave that he has. About 9 to 10 minions there, but will still be behind Smeb. So he's done a good job early into the match, but hasn't blown his teleport just yet. Yeah,
he just has to lose out a lot. I mean, that's just what Mouse has been doing throughout the split. He ends up losing a lot in terms of the early laning phase, CS experience, and he understands that that's what you have to do in the team that he's set in. At the very least, he's respecting the pressure. Flawless going topside, taking Krugs. Very efficient because it allowed him, Rumble, to actually push up in his own wave. These are the small things that we wanted to see going out earlier in this game. I mean, they've only really just hit level 6. Jarvan should with this wave. So this is where the real fear comes in. But early on, I mean, it's not too bad.
Look at him parkour, Raz. He doesn't even jump over the turret. He just goes through it, kind of.
Isn't it exciting? All I want to see is Talon go to the bottom lane and get a kill on towards Mata with the Samsung jersey. That's what I want to see. I'm honest.
Is that what he's meant to do, though? Is Doinby's job to find access into the bottom lane? Because yes, it'd be great if he kills Mata with that skin, but is that his actual job? He's being ganked in the mid lane, holding on to the cleanse, still not using it, just using the ultimate ascendance. Actually a decent trade for him. Yukon goes fairly low as well.
I think he realized that they didn't have enough damage to follow up, and he would be safe enough. Remember, he still has full corrupting potions and Time Warp Tonic, so he's going to be able to heal up underneath the tower. So he's like, if I blow cleanse immediately, then I lose out. They can rehash the play again, and I'll end up dying out. So he's very patient in that setting. Most people would end up, blowing everything. Cleanse, flash, get me out of here.
I mean, his stopwatch is coming online as well, but bring it back to that. He's doing well in the lane. What is his job?
His job is push the lane, look for a silent. I think top lane is still a doable job just because how Jarvan is fairly squishy in that sense. Going to the bottom lane is a little harder because there is a Tahm-Kench, but there's always a time limit to a Tahm-Kench swallow. So I would say that if you go bottom lane, you have to commit to bringing Flawless as well, so you can actually continue the dive. You just have to recognize the dive's going to take a little longer. So quick answer, want him to go bottom lane. I want him to get a kill in towards Deft, but he has to commit the full unit to do so.
Well, he's got Flawless close to the bottom side of the map. Playing Skarner in this game, he has been able to hit level 6 and has Predator boots available for himself. Now trying to pick up blue buff for Doinby. Doinby doing well in lane. In fact, most of the lanes for Rogue Warriors are doing well at the moment. SMLZ as well as Doinby have a CS lead. It's only really Jarvan, top side of the map, who is ahead of Mouse and Score, farming slightly better than Flawless at the moment.
And take a look at this. You mentioned the bottom lane skirmishes. They've been working well for Killua and SMLZ. Deft has decided going Sheen first and not upgrading the tier, just holding on to the Fairy Charm. saying that he wants to actually push back in this lane. He wants to poke back. He doesn't want to just sit underneath his tower and lose out. So the Sheen proc, he's valued that. I think it's the right choice simply because it's been working. He's losing out in mana. It's going to prolong his tier build, but that just means it's working out now. When he has the ability to buy tier, you need Score to be in the bottom side to give him a proper back time.
All right, 9 minutes in and he hasn't picked that up, so you'd expect him to go back to base soon. Galio was trying to cheat down into the bottom lane. They had Score in the back pocket of Def and Mata's lane, but no action taking place there either. Top side's just been a farm fest. Now that ultimate is available for Mouse, if he gets into a sticky situation, he can just throw down the equalizer, clear out the way, but Def's not going back yet. Probably waiting for his teleport to come back up, it seems like.
Yeah, he's really just comes down to the fact that he's waiting for as long as he can to get just not only the tier itself, but so if he does face, he doesn't end up losing too much experience or time or push. A lot of that is something that he values. Right now, KT is doing a wonderful job. Just today, focusing around proper back timings and being a much more disciplined team, things they lacked so far in the split in the LCK. And going up against Rogue Warriors, that would be a great thing to do because Rogue Warriors are a team that usually skip a few steps when they're going for a fight and can get punished. Recently up against EDG in the last week, I mean, in the LPL, they were undefeated, had perfect Baron control. And then they went up against a well-oiled, controlled team at EDG and they lost 0-2 for the exact same reason that feels like they have to be well aware of the control going into a lot of these skirmishes. And just know that they can't dig themselves off of just blind TP, seeing if they can pick every fight with the champions that they have. Because they're skilled players, but they need to know that the setup is important.
They can't make unforced errors. If you make an unforced error against a team like KT, that's it. They're going to capitalize.
Oh!
Good damage onto SMLZ, and Deft is relentless. Still trying to poke at this Lucian Soraka duo. Doing a good job. Flawless is here waiting in the wings. Flash is available, Predator is available for him as well, but he's not going for that play. Doinby going for a fight against Yukao in the mid lane, locked down. Jarvan is here as well. Could be a big fight for them. Flag, drag, does he get the knockup? Doinby gets out in time.
Yeah, so he can't follow up with the LT. Of course, the Invis is up for way too long. So that just means that Doinby has to base. And then the bottom lane, SNLZ had no mana, so he had to base. Proper timing for KT, going towards Inferno.
Get the Inferno Dragon for themselves. Doesn't seem like Rogue Warriors will contest for the Elemental. Picked up easily by KT Rolster.
And this is just swift movement from KT as a whole. I mean, bottom lane happened, got the push onto that one, and that was just a 2v2, so there's not much involved from that one. That was just literally, you know, Deft and Mata playing well in that regard. And then immediately, Smeb had a push in the top lane, and actually just went bottom. I mean, went straight towards mid, so he's making a lot of the time that he's had in the top side of the map well worth it.
Well, after watching KT play earlier today and now in this match against the Rogue Warriors, it seems like their entire strategy for Rift Rivals group stage so far, has been to frustrate teams to death.
That's one thing. I'd say learn, but frustrating makes sense too.
No, frustrate, not learn.
You can learn to frustrate. That's what they're doing, man.
Why would you want to learn to frustrate?
That's honestly the simple way of saying they're so good at macro, I want to fight them, but they won't let me do it. So they're frustrating them. They're learning how to frustrate people with smarter plays.
And they've picked up a nice 500 gold lead for themselves. Not much, 12 minutes into the match, but a lead nonetheless. Infernal Dragon being picked up for them as well. That will help them out nicely later on in the match. Mount Dragon's going to be the next Elemental Dragon to spawn. Blade of the Ruin King already complete for SMLZ, so a nice item power spike for him. Tier has now been picked up by Deft. Used his teleport to get back into lane and is going towards the Iceborne Gauntlet, so not the Trinity Force from Ezreal.
Yeah, I mean, has the extra armor for the laning phases, which I'm happy about. The trading
as well
happens there. Glacial Shroud will do its job, has the Tom Kench. There's a lot of safetiness here in the bottom side of the map. It's really forcing Rogue Warriors to really commit as a team because usually you see SMLZ and Killua. I mean, if there's no gank happening in the bottom side of the map, 2v2, they can make something work. A lot of solo kills happen in the LPL. Duo kills if you're talking about bottom lane, but not a lot in the LCK. In fact, looking through the stats, we had a Kuro graphic a little earlier on. I mean, he's top in the rankings of it.
Yes.
And like, while in the LPL, you're like, oh my goodness, 5 solo kills. Put him in the top. LCK, like 2 to 1 solo kills. It's insane that that is their highest point because there's so much structure. And the structure is really what's forcing Rogue Warriors to start to think a little bit more.
It's not the brawl-heavy match that they would kind of want, not the one that they excel at. Score's looking for a gank in the bottom lane, but SMLZ and Killua are playing very safe. Galio is not rotating down just yet. Still sitting in the mid lane, being pushed in by Doinby, so hasn't had access to roam into the bottom lane.
Trying to bait them to do anything right now. Trying to see if Skarner comes out of the woodworks.
I mean, that's what you'd want to do, right? If KT are going to play this structured play and Rogue Warriors like to be aggressive. Oh! Baiting out something like this makes sense. Make Rogue Warriors make the mistake. Doesn't happen there. Good, respectful flash coming out from SMLZ. Gets away from danger.
He anticipated it. I mean, if you see an Ezreal just E up to you with no reason, at that point, you have to have in the back of your head, there's a Sejuani possibly here. They've been pushing out. We have no vision in the bottom lane bushes. So he was aware of it, and he had the mechanics to respond with a proper flash. Well done from Rogue Warriors here.
Flawless tries to use this time to counter jungle. Can't contest the red buff from Score, but is able to take the Raptor campers away. Meanwhile, Doinby zoning Yukal away from the outer turret.
That's a sad chicken.
That is scary. He's 30 CS up, Raz.
Look, that's fabulous. But he needs to make it work right now. While you know, denying him from experience is lovely. At this point in time, Doinby doesn't want to just find himself sitting here for that long. See if he can find a way with the Duskblade that he's asked for himself to get out of here.
Well, taking a lot of damage, pops the ultimate again, and it just seems like that's Doinby's "this is my disengage" button.
I mean, a lot of people have been visiting his lane. I mean, the fact that he's able to hold flash in a lot of these instances has been phenomenal. So, yeah, Smeb comes in, Score comes in a few times, and it just gets frustrating at that point that, yeah, he's blowing his ultimate, but at the very least, it's a really low cooldown. You can come back for the next time.
Good job coming out from KT, but it hasn't led to any advantages yet. The game is dead even. No big fights from either side. So how do these two teams actually win the match? Because at this point, we're going to be playing Farming Simulator 2018.
It's very likely. I think the fact that Deft picked up Iceborne immediately makes it so it's so much harder for Rogue Warriors to get a fight on the bottom side of the map. It comes down to execution of top laners more often now, because Mouse we haven't heard, Adam, you know, very silent man himself. So if he comes down to the bottom side of the map and makes a flashy ulti work, if they can set up properly for that, Rogue Warriors have that dive in the bank. You're building so much towards the armor. Of course, Rumble's going to be able to burn you with the fact that he's going to be going into double magic penetration.
I mean, the recent patches gave him a slight buff as well, especially with the ultimate getting a bit more damage. Fights in the mid lane. Doinby's going to get locked down. In fact, Marta's going to try and join this. KT looking to collapse on towards Talon. Jumps over one wall, flashes away from the ultimate, gets over the next, but Score's going to follow through. He does the do-to-do, spots it out by the sweeper lane, so they know exactly where Talon is. KT are going to try and collapse. Doinby staying in fog of war, gets between the two turrets, takes two shots. The flash forward from Yukal gets a summoner, but first blood picked up by KT.
Unfortunate when he pressed his ultimate, they were still able to find him simply based off that red trinket. So at the end of the day, he was so close to getting out of there, but just way too low HP.
Finally, they punish Doinby for playing aggressive, moving deep into enemy territory every time Yukal was zoned off. Was able to escape with that ultimate, not this time. Good collapse coming up from KT.
Added more members to the mix, and also just committed to using the Tom Kench ultimate. So bottom lane was ready for it, and made it so he had to take the adventurous way.
But seems like Rogue Warriors want to attack bottom lane. Dev going to be eaten up by Mata, and there's a teleport coming in. There's no more protection for the Ezreal. Spat back up, but they focus on the Tahm Kench. Mouse trying to keep Deft occupied. Kahlua tanking the turret, but Mata's going to fall first. Rogue Warriors find a pick in the bottom lane.
You wanted to see Mouse come in there. He needed to be able to join for this dive to work out. It was very easy, just because Sejuani was on the top side of the map. Just sad to him that he didn't get an assist from it because he was so focused on towards the Ezreal.
They burnt a teleport. Kahlua very low. Def playing very aggressive. SMLZ dashes forward. Doesn't get slowed by Mouse. Mouse overhitting. Smacks him with the drill. Rogue Warriors get another pick and they're looking for first turret. They don't get it, however. KT used the Rift Herald top lane. Take down that first structure. Rogue Warriors respond, and now the two teams are fighting.
Yeah, I felt like KT were in a great position, but no reason for Def to be so damn close to that tower. Let it go. Rift Herald's being placed topside. I think that he just played way too greedily. Even if the Galio's in the back, that's a team fight win for Rogue Warriors. So just, you know, you don't have to do too much. Trying to do too much.
You might need to tell Def to let it go, but you can't hold him back anymore, Raz, because he was aggressive there. Cost him his life. SMLZ picks up a 30 CS lead as well as the second turret of the match. Rogue Warriors still dead even against KT Rolster in this game. But it was Rogue Warriors that attacked the bottom side. KT did attack the top side. Mouse was not there, so they just got the turret. Doinby picked up the free farm in the top lane.
And remember they committed a TP for that? J4 didn't have it, so he's going to have his TP upcoming soon. So Rogue Warriors did put in some resource to make it happen, and it turned into a trade. You can hear the crowd here. They're making their predictions known. But Rogue Warriors need more with the investment that they've been putting in. J4 is going to have his TP. Pushing up top lane right now, he's going to be able to join these team fights and try and find a numbers advantage.
Well, they're able to take a mountain dragon at least, so they tie up the elemental dragons taken in this game. So very even between the two. I mean, you can see all the respect that's coming out from KT Rolster as every single player has Ninja Tabby.
That's fun.
They know exactly what this Talon as well as the Lucian can do.
That's a major point of their damage up front, and it puts a lot of responsibility on towards Mouse in the top side of the map if he can actually get a lot of the damage out early. Remember, I wonder what let's see, what boots does he have? I don't think he has boots at all, actually.
No,
pretty unfortunate.
It's a very, very slow rumble.
Yeah, I'm very sad about that. But if he gets magic penetration boots, if he gets to a point where he's able to just do like true damage to the back line, that would be phenomenal. So I want to see what his impact is, because that responsibility does shift on towards him.
Look, Rats, you don't need boots if you have a very scary mask.
Does he have a scary mask?
He's got the Leandri's Torments. There's blood coming out of the eyes.
That's a little bit too scary.
All right, if you start bleeding from the eyes, then look, I'm not going to take you to hospital then. It's not that scary, right? We're good?
I feel like that damages you more than buff you up, but I know I'm just going to have a problem with that entirely.
Oh, he still hasn't gone towards boots just yet, sitting on the control ward. As well as that refillable potion. A lot of members from both KT as well as Rogue Warriors are grouping up in the mid lane. Even Score trying to sweep away vision behind the mid lane outer turret. This is below half health, so KT can make a push to try and take this structure.
Could look even to dive it. Remember, looking at Skarner's positioning, not in position to really deal with Score's pick off. And remember that, unless he gets caught out.
Sweeper doesn't see him, but sees the ward. Score is going to come out from the flank, locks down floors to start, gets healed by them, pulling back the Sejuani. Kalua's keeping the front line alive, and Score very low after that fight.
And Rumble's going to come in here, so they should be able to protect this mid lane. That entire engage of Score to be able to get Flawless does not work.
Now it's Doinby's turn. He's found a nice flank for himself behind all the members of KT. Throws out the rake. Doesn't get too much damage, doesn't get the flank he wanted, but it's just an ARAM at the moment. Both teams grouping up in the mid lane, looking at each other very angrily, Raz.
That was interesting. And I think right now Rogue Warriors, they're so close to death way too often.
Oh, they're collapsing though. Mouse gonna get caught out, throws down the ultimate, gonna get locked down, and he'll be the first pick, picked up by KT off the back of that fight, out of position.
Now there we go. I mean, that's just that easy. He holds Flash. Not too sure if he had it. In fact, he didn't have it at the time. It was very close to having it. So at that point, he's just out of position. That's facts. And so he just needs to watch himself in that time. Talon was heading straight towards bottom lane, didn't have the numbers.
Well played. They didn't have the ultimate for Sejuani, but Smeb as well as Score was still able to collapse onto Mouse, get his ultimate. They get a pick and use that pick to take down mid lane outer turret, putting themselves ahead of Rogue Warriors. About 2,000 gold up now.
That's a mid lane tower down. Even with Talon finding himself in the side lane, he needs to, his focus is actually just not splitting anymore. It's mostly push and rotate, because KT as a team should be rotating towards the Baron buff. Pushing up top lane, setting them around Baron. They have a lot of pick potential with the composition that they have, so they can use it to instill, condition Rogue Warriors into thinking that they're just picking too long and then they can rush Baron. There are so many strategies they can utilize here around the pick. The control ward is going to be important on towards KT, and it pulls Rogue Warriors towards them.
We just haven't seen that side of the strategy from Rogue Warriors. I mean, the Talon pick, we didn't see too much from it early except for controlling mid lane against UCal. Everyone from KT is fairly tanky. He's not going to be able to one-shot anyone unless he finds Deft alone. Maybe Smeb in a side lane. But with Tom Kench and the team, with all the crowd control, it just feels impossible almost for Doinby to find access to the backlines and actually deal the damage that Talon should be able to.
Cleanly put, there's not a lot of setup for the Talon. If he has early, push in mid lane in the early game, excellent. Goes bottom lane, there's not a lot of CC to actually make it worthwhile. Same thing happened top lane. It looks like he's going to be the target here.
Oh no, lots of members collapsing into the bottom lane. Deft is here as well, gets him in invisibility. He's now trying to dodge away from the ultimate of Sejuani. Score holds it, but they burn the summoner spell of Talon.
And he's just become a consistent target since the beginning of the game. hasn't been able to leave his own laning phase. He hasn't had access to his own ultimate unless if it's just to defend himself. It's really frustrating if you're doing B because the strategy is revolving him leaving lane and impacting somewhere else, but it's constantly KT finding him.
KT is still trying to attack, but that's Flawless going forward, locking down the Tahm Kench. Mata forced to flash away, but on the flip side, Kahlua gets caught out, flashes away, still gets killed. Mata goes low, but Smeb gets into the fight. Mouse with a big flank, they're tower diving, KT are low. Lorcal gets the first kill, Mata gets burnt alive. That's a crispy tone, but a double picked up by Galio. Mouse comes up big with a double himself. KT are still trying to hurt him. Deft is very low, the chicken jumps back in, but that's a golden rumble. Doinby wants access into the fight, gets back in, pops the ultimate, Mouse with another, but Deft cleans it up, will die to the turret, and only Smeb's left alive.
That's insanity. It took so long that even Soraka came back to life from the beginning of it. And it was all based off of the pick potential from Flawless catching on towards score, and then the problem, or at least it was on towards bottom lane of Tahm Kench. And then the flank comes through from Mouse. Such a beautiful TP. I know we'll see the TP, or at least the replay immediately afterwards, but so well done from Rogue Warriors with how far behind they were.
When you get to look at that again, because the fight started with Flawless locking down Mata.
Instantly catches onto him. Only problem is on the opposite side, Killua dies, but the flank TP, you already see Rumble coming in from behind, while KT doubled down for a dive on towards Doinby and Flawless. The Rumble ulti makes it so much harder for the backline to even support it. Mata goes down, Deft is out of there, scores to follow. So it was just a weird follow-up from KT to even look for the dive. That was a success overall, and then they tried a little bit too hard.
Good use of the stopwatch by Mouse. Doinby jumps back in to at least trade back evenly. Def will die to turret at the end, but it was so close. I mean, a turret, one more turret shot on Smeb, he would have died. Would have been an ace for an ace. But KT hold on to the gold lead they were previously able to acquire, push for more, take down that bottom lane in a turret. 4,000 gold up, now working on an Elemental Dragon. Big play by Mouse, though. I mean, this is the player that we look towards and say, you know what? He's a top lane tank player. He's going to be a big sponge. Did the most damage for Rogue Warriors in that fight. He's now 4-2-0, and he was blazing through the last team fight.
Yeah, I mean, Mouse in team fights, since EDG to here, has always been phenomenal. It's just getting to that point and supporting your primary cast. And also remember, Rogue Warriors are at their scariest when they find themselves behind because they keep fighting. They up the ante a lot of the time. And so the tempo keeps going up, and if you're KT looking to dive, or just find one mistake, Rogue Warriors are a team that can punish it. So that's what you have to watch out here. KT cannot find themselves taking these risky dives that they do when they're in the LCK. They need to be able to play discipline a lot more slowly. They're now pressuring around Baron. It's a nice start.
We need to see the same discipline that we saw from KT in their last match. Because they've been known not to be able to close out games that well. They need to close out this match against Rogue.
One's alive. You're KT. You focus straight towards the Baron. It's just going to be difficult now because you have to push SMLZ and Doinby back. They're incredibly healthy.
And KT have 4 members alive that looked like Rogue Warriors would be able to pick up the kills there. It's not going to be the case. Yes, SMLZ and Doinby are going to look to try and jump in, but Def being aggressive. SMLZ wants to jump in. Doinby already chunked out by the Ezreal. They know they have to sacrifice this Baron, and that's what they'll do. KT pick it up, and they're opening up this match.
A proper chunk to push them out. And that we're going to see it very soon. And it was all in towards the fact that, yeah, you pick up Jarvan. But remember, we saw this in the SKT set. Galio is always a beautiful follow-up. It may be an impromptu engage, but he's going to make it worthwhile. Sejuani had a flank too, so they were all prepared for this one. Even though the Rumble ulti comes in hot, it's SMLZ out of position. The Talon that has to reposition as well. Flawless cannot work around this team fight when he's flanked around by multiple members. So SKT recovered, or at least KT in this regard.
I mean,
in a very well fight.
Last match, we saw Wolf deliver Faker into the backlines on Galio by being headbutted into the base. This time round, Flawless is able to drag Smeb into his entire team, to which Yukal's like, sure, I will take that, no problem. Thank you for assisting my squad. Thank you for allowing me to get an ultimate off.
It's one way to start a fight. And the fact that now he's back on the map and he has Guardian Angel, so it's not even a true pick. Right now, Rogue Warriors are so focused on this pick composition because their primary focus is going to be the Skarner, and now he starts the fight. But who do they actually go on towards? They're never going to get Deft. He's way too far behind a lot of tanks. towards Tom Kench, Galio, Sejuani, now GA Jarvan. There's not a lot of right options here.
Well, they're going to try the exact same play again. Flawless is waiting inside the brush, gets spotted out by the Q, wants to turn back around, but it's Score and Mata, tanky members coming out from the side of KT. Difficult at the moment for Rogue Warriors to team fight, it seems. Baron's going to be used top side of the map. Easy turret taken down by Yukao.
We've seen KT play today. If you're not going to give them a fight, they'll be taking around the turrets around you. So they have the Baron buff. They have a Galio in the top lane pulling one member. The primary focus is now going to be this mid lane tower with the poke that Ezreal provides.
SMLZ, a couple of auto attacks, and he's already below half health. Killua will keep him healed up.
So
Def's not stopping. This man's a monster, and he already has been on Ezreal, pushing in towards the inhibitor turret in the the inner turret in the mid lane. Still Arcane shifting forward. Has his QSS, has a time catch behind him. He's not afraid of Flawless at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to stop here, so it is going to be an inhibitor turret. It's on Rogue Warriors to draw the line somewhere.
Doinby did get spotted out by wards, and KT know exactly where he is. Score down to half health. SMLC using the culling, but is not going to get the Essence Reaver proc anymore. Instead, they collapse on towards Galio top lane. If Galio's going to not be able to protect someone! Yukao with the flash! The follow-up from Score is beautiful! This is the team fight for KT! Collapsing! Already getting 2 kills to kick things off. Doinby forced to use the ultimate to get away. SMLC can't get his team alone. Deft forces him into golden stasis. Everyone collapses. And Rogue Warriors, just like that, they thought they hunted the hunter. Not going to be the case.
He blew them up. It was insanity. Literally flash taunt and obliterated the Soraka.
Beautiful.
Well, this is when you back it up, boys. I mean, this is rough. Rogue Warriors, this is, you know, the same playbook Rogue Warriors have whenever they're behind. Flank at all costs and find a rogue member. But then this, so beautifully put. Smashing towards Killua, immediately out of the fight, so you don't even have the heals. Gone. And then it's an easy pickings from that point forward because they were in the mid lane, so they're going to be coming up right quick. And so Rogue Warriors had to come out of there.
The cohesion coming out from KT also was just beautiful. I mean, you collapse into Yukao, says, you know what, I can turn this run around myself. Had the boost of armor and magic resistance from Aftershock as well. Collapsed on 3 members. Smeb locking down everyone after killing Killua. Rogue Warriors just seem mismatched in this 3rd seed game.
They're starting to realize, like, against the top teams, there are no stragglers. That a lesson they learned last week versus EDG, that they tried their flank plays when they were behind, but the problem was that they were always ready, they were always in position. This time around, KT had placed a proper amount of control wards, so Talon couldn't flank them in the mid lane. So obviously, he's going to make a call, go top lane to the rogue Galio. But they were in the mid lane, they're already moving towards you now. So they couldn't make a quick job on towards Galio. It's impossible. So it feels like, and it is, pure desperation, and it's not working as well as it has in the past.
Sometimes Rogue Warriors break the meta like we saw in their first 5 matches of the LPL, and it works out fantastic. But after their match against EDG and now their first game at Rift Rivals, the strategies and the swaps that they've made haven't been working out, especially in this match, throwing in the Talon. We haven't seen much from Doinby's Talon. Flawless has not looked great on the Skarner so far. Mouse is actually the member that's stepping up today.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, while he's stepping up, at this point, it's KT calling it. Making the proper items play. Even though they've lowered the items, that's a Gunblade on Deft. Deft has been doing so well hitting every Q that he's just waiting for the person to burst down.
Deft is not afraid at the moment. Said KT without Baron buff, still move towards mid lane. Doinby being locked down, forced to use his ultimate to disengage. Nobody from KT's taking damage. They lock down Score, bring him back in. That'll be the first casualty. Mouse gets his another kill in this match, pushing KT back away. Killua's forced back to the fountain. Rogue Warriors' health bars are low, so they should still lose their inhibitor.
Yeah, even with that one pick, it still doesn't matter when they lose their inhib and almost lose their own support. So KT still coming into base, saying that that's a success, and they're going to just run rampant into their own jungle. So right now, Rogue Warriors have to find a more reliable solution, and it feels like Baron is going to be the call, unless it's Yukao.
There will be a time catch trying to jump back in, but Rogue Warriors look for the fight. Flawless in trouble. Doinby forced to use the ultimate again. Smeb separates the team, brings Yukao on the back lines. Mouse was trying to do as much work as possible, but it's just not enough. Deft able to single out SMLZ, gets the team fight he was looking for, and KT are looking towards the Nexus.
Yep, 40-second death timers, and they already have the minions right beside them. easy as pie. Rogue Warriors are trying to find a skirmish that they had no way of winning.
They were trying to find a way to turn around the match, but 10,000 gold behind at the time, it's just not enough. One pick, not going to be enough. Def, keeping Doinby on the fountain as well. They're moving towards the Nexus, and with this win, LCK lead the pack after day one.
In such clean ways, too. KT, 2 games, back to back, and it feels like KT has just found a new identity in a slower, smarter team going up against the other third-seeded teams. Right now, it feels hard for Rogue Warriors, and they're learning a hard lesson about 3 weeks into the split that LPL, yeah, they seemed real good, but they still have to play a smarter game. They can't rely on the mechanics. KT's learned that lesson here today.
It just seems like the more you struggle against KT Rolster, the harder their grip becomes, the harder it is to fight back. Second time a very similar playstyles come out from them. We saw that in their match against the LMS. 5 kills in that game. Against Rogue Warriors, they're not afraid to let them play their crappy brawl, their brawl style. And take it to them with a slow pace match. Make sure that they don't get to play the way they want to.
And it feels very intimidating going into day 2. That KT looked this good. Now remember, playing 2 games, bid them adieu, won't be seeing them tomorrow. And it looks like they've just set the stage here for the rest of the LCK teams going to day 2. That you really have to dethrone them in the mentality department. They will draw you out. And if things go the way they are, you might be seeing them once again in the grand finals, waiting for the LPL and LMS teams to go at it.
Because that win, as we mentioned, means that LCK stay in front after day 1. And we saw RNG lose earlier today. Yes, we saw a 1 loss coming out from LCK, and LMS being able to pick up a victory so far in that upset. KT Rolster's last match during the group stage performed incredibly well. Difficult strategy to play against. And now we only be able to see them during the blind relay, whichever team they go up against. They have to be ready to deal with this.
Yep. I mean, remember, it's a best of 1. Rogue Warriors decided to take that best of 1 and have a composition to 3 picks you would usually never see. The Talon, Soraka a little bit, the Rumble. It just didn't work out for them. They had very obvious flaws, but the strengths were in their mid lane. KT Roasters recognized that, and you can see them flatlining, moving straight down.
Yep.
They just went straight towards Doinby.
It just seemed like Rogue Warriors had this unorthodox team composition where they had bits and pieces of the puzzle, but just not a full, complete picture. Whereas KT were like, we know exactly what this puzzle looks like, we know exactly how to solve it, and put the pieces together nice and slowly, and did so in both their matches today.
Yeah, and I would say that if I were to look at the pick ban and change one thing, I would give Flawless a more empowering pick, so you can actually utilize the 2v2 a little bit better.
Okay.
The problem here, a lot of it was just Talon was on his own, and in most cases, if Skarner comes out and finds a Sejuani, then it's going to be a Galio collapse, Jarvan collapse with how well he was doing. If he was on, I throw Kindred a lot because that's a score pick, but just essentially a ranged jungler, Graves could do the job as well. All you really want is the talent to be able to leave the lane and have support in the laning phase. Didn't happen, but ultimately, now moving on to day 2, the time to restructure, rejuvenate. Rogue Warriors still have 1 more game, and we get to see that going into day 2.
They have to bounce back from not only the end of season loss that they had against EDG in the LPL, but now after day 1, not being able to pick up a victory against KT, already showing a couple of their strategies. For the LCK side, they don't get to see KT play anymore during the group stage, but they're going to try and use their other teams to try and pick up more points, potentially the pack after day 2. But let's send it back to the analyst desk to break down that match.
Thank you so much. Again, Fish and Raz, good cast on the day. Papa, you were shaking your head no. You were like, I got to go with KT. I'm not 100% certain. What did you know? Did you like bump into Rogue Warriors behind when they came on stage? Did they say they were going to play Talon?
What I know is that I've been around this KT roller coaster for a long time. From my name, you know I'm a bit of an old guy.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of these KT games. I heard people there talking about how KT had turned a new leaf. No, no, no. This day, they played very, very well. They should be rewarded for their play. And there are little technical things as we go on to explain how the game unfolded, because you look at the drafts, and it's very easy to be results-oriented and say, well, one of them just team fights really good. Don't know what the other one was doing. Yeah. The other one was trying to snowball, and there were very precise decisions made by KT to stop that snowball.
Yeah, a couple big ones is avoiding all of the power spikes coming out from Rogue Warriors. They are basically looking for that first dragon fight there, and KT basically did avoid all of those. Their itemization was also incredibly good. We saw the ninja tabbies come out from across the board, and also like you mentioned, the Sheen in the bot lane, keep the mana going, get the teleports correctly. There just wasn't any chance for Rogue Warriors to win that. If you're running an assassin, you need kills before 30 minutes, and when 30 minutes hit, Doinby had 2 assists, so that's a fail right there.
You look at this draft, and it's so good, the draft from Rogue Warriors, of packing up and go on bot lane, because you have double Predator, the jungler and also the mid laner, who can get there fast, overwall, Skarner get the guaranteed engage, and you should have a priority lane. Why is there a Soraka? Because Soraka versus Tahm Kench, he takes harass, and then there's no sustain being provided. So you understand the theory of, well, Talon wants to get those kills on the bot lane, let's kill Tahm Kench, let's kill Ezreal, let's just absolutely pummel that lane. Going Sheen first and never getting tier actually gave him, by him, deft lane priority. He was able to take it in the middle or push it in from time to time. Never did we see Talon go bot lane. In fact, you think of the other scenario, why not just go kill the Sejuani who falls low in the jungle? Never could he even easily get in the jungle, and the Galio there to also cover that one. So when it came to playmaking, they were just so frustrated as Rogue Warriors.
It seems as though KT were able to effectively identify that this composition was coming out from Rogue Warriors and pivot on the spot in-game. We were surprised. We saw the Talon. The crowd cheered. There was the Jarvan. There was the Rumble. It was all surprising, but KT, cool as a cucumber, said, all right.
KT knew Rogue Warriors comp better than Rogue Warriors themselves knew it. That's what it felt like right there. I really love their itemization because their idea was if you're coming in, you're going to come in for directions we know. They didn't have the hard CC for the instant lockdown, so they were very slow in converging. And every time they went in the team fight, KT just struck first. They found the Kahlua, they took out a target. There was a Triforce and a GA built on the Jarvan just for that burst damage there. So very good reading of the compositions and very unexpected from KT because they won by pulling back.
And let's rewind a little bit, pull back in terms of the draft, because you just mentioned the name, Jarvan. This is the first Jarvan game, I believe, in almost any region. It's not been played in the jungle, certainly not top lane. That's an old favorite that we've seen from Smeb in the past. Smeb loves the flank teleport. We saw the Cannon ban, AP Cannon as one of his standbys. If you go full AD Jarvan into a Rumble, eventually Rumble can't enter lane. It's just too much damage. He'll die in one rotation. Smeb played it well, and it was also a last-second swap, so just something he's been holding back for a moment like this.
Yeah, we've actually got a replay exemplifying the strengths of that Jarvan. It was KT pushing the tier 2 of Rogue Warriors after already picking up an advantage. It starts off with an attempted pick from Flawless.
And it just takes so long for Rogue Warriors actually to get in position. Their pieces don't have the hard CC necessary for the instant lockdown and the instant burst damage. They see Mouse coming down the minion wave, but they don't really care. And to be honest, this could have gone very poorly for KT, but they did have the power overall with the pick on the Soraka early to finish it off.
And in 2 games, this is the one you'd point out and be like, okay, that's a KT throw right there. Opting into what looked like a 4,000 damage equalizer and the really bad positioning, and yet they still cleaned it up. And guess what? When you play a really clean early game and have a gold lead going into that moment where you make a slight sidestep, you don't lose the game straight out. And that was the difference from KT. In previous metas, sometimes they had already made a couple smaller mistakes, and then the bigger one just snowballed it.
Yeah. I just want to go back and talk about the talent pick because LMS was the first region out of the Rift Rival region to bring it out.
Go on.
Yeah. And the way we build it is we make sure that there's skirmish points all across the map. Because the big thing about Talon is not actually the burst assassination, it is the assassin's path. A lot of times teams cannot correctly estimate how long you're going to get into the team fight because you get 800 range every single leap, and you can do that multiple times in terms of the jungle. So I would have liked to see a Pyke, more skirmish-oriented picks going against their own jungle, like not the Skarner versus Sejuani, which a lot of times the Skarner actually does not win. So if they have more points where they could win and push contests and then have the Talon roam towards them, I think that would have been a better composition.
And Talon has also been played a lot in Korea, and that's why I want to extend your point is Talon is not a once-off cheese pick we won't see again. We will see more Talon, and actually in Korea, you look at solo queue, it's Talon with Smite. The idea that you walk up to the Raptor, smite the big one, rake the rest. You take a Talisman so you get that health back. You enter lane level 2, start popping over walls. If you're against a funnel, you can just find the enemy funneled like 80 carry and just assassinate him. You have the ability to hit side lanes. Against Sejuani and also Galio, you can't go the Smite because then you just die. But I wonder if there was a less CC jungler, would we have seen the first appearance of that Smite? Because that is the dominant summoner spell and high elo Korean solo queue.
Something to be expected, though the Impale did set up for an attempted fight for Rogue Warriors a little bit after that replay we saw at the bottom tier 2, and it was Smeb who was the target. They were able to identify, hey, Smeb is starting to get pretty big. Perhaps we should try to get him rid or separate him from his team. But then just the immediate Galio flank, able to get the the hero's entrance, and then even the Tom Kench joining into the fight as well.
The big team fight here is, if you realize, Rogue Warriors are never going to win unless they pick off Def first. Like, it's so hard to actually stick any damage onto the Ezreal, and even with such a good start, they are cornered in with the hard CC. They are locked down. They never put any damage on Def whatsoever. And I think if you're running an assassin composition, you do need lockdown somewhere on your composition.
Or to snowball, right? A different game where Def goes Sheen and he's pushed in and Sejuani's killed and then bot lane's killed. It's a totally different game, and there's access for the Assassin's Path into the backline. In that team fight, Tom Kench was running after Talon just to keep him out of the fight. He wasn't worried about devouring allies. He was assassinating people themselves, and that's a good sign that your early game snowball went bad.
Yeah, hate to see that happen. Of course, Cal, he's going to pop up in our last replay here as Rogue Warriors are able to try and find that one final pick. But look at this.
3-man taunt to back up his 5-man taunt just a few days ago against Griffin. That was actually Cal's comeback game after a bit of an early season issues with some of his champion pool and his positioning in team fights. The first Galio was great. The second Galio even better in this game. So yeah, Galio looking like a solid pick for KT. And guess what? If you make a mistake and you push too far up, that Galio ultimate, pretty useful.
Yeah, you absolutely pay the price. That being said, KT taking the win. We heard it from the casters.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt. 100%.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
I doubt that.
What you saying? What you saying?
They played well. They played well. They played unexpectedly.
You know,
well.
one of these days, Clement, we're actually going to have to ask which of the two regions you're really rooting for, the LPL or the LMS.
Hey, I got two horses in
this.
You do. I got two horses, okay?
All righty.
I can ride them both.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, here you can see the teams with the standings. It's LCK with 3 wins, LPL with 2, and LMS with 1 at the end of day 1 of the best Rift Rivals in the world.
I believe LPL only has 1 as well.
EDG and Invictus Gaming.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, and the standings.
Let's confirm.
You see it right there. Wonderful. I'm so glad that we've got this to double-check all the mathematics that we can see.
My bad.
And again, all of the other teams are going to be playing again tomorrow to round it out for 8 from everyone. The LPL 0-1, 1-0. Rogue Warriors dropping their first game. Invictus Gaming, as is expected, taking their win with Aatrox.
It was really great seeing EDG. They looked fantastic against Afrika. I'd like to see them tomorrow. My question to you is, we will eventually see the schedule for tomorrow, and LMS obviously has to play its remaining games. Can you see a team other than Flash Wolves picking up a win on the LMS side?
Ooh, that's such a difficult one. I have to say I have a little faith in G-Rex versus Afrika, but that's more about the morale thing. G-Rex themselves have been in a very tough spot. However, on the LCK side, we are going to see Kingzone for the first time in group stages.
Bit weird that we haven't seen 2 of those teams playing till tomorrow. Kingzone are back in some ways, not in others. And even when it comes to starting junglers, sometimes Cuz is playing, sometimes Peanut is. So a lot of questions still about Kingzone Dragon X.
You can see that schedule on your screen. Kingzone in our last game of the day, taking on Royal Never Give Up in the MSI Grand Finals rematch.
Ooh.
I know there's a lot that I'm hyped for, but I want to hear what you guys are looking forward to as well.
I really want to see Kingzone versus Flash Wolves to see which Kingzone is here, because sometimes it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with this team. Even lineup-wise, are they starting Cuz? Are they starting Peanut? You think Peanut, but Cuz sometimes recently has got the nod.
Yeah, I definitely want to go for Invictus Gaming versus SKT, the 2 best mid laners facing up against each other. Of course, Rookie was our MVP in the spring split, and Faker has been playing as good as always. I just don't want to see him on the Galio again.
Can't promise that one won't come out.
Yeah, at best we're going to find out tomorrow as those games roll around at you, but that's going to do it for us for this day 1 of Rift Rivals 2018. Hype as heck. I don't think it quite went as we expected. LCK with off to the early lead with this day 1.
I don't know. I was pretty confident.
I don't know. Look, if we're following the track record, LPL, we've won MSI and all of the the good stuff, and now
I just want to see more fighting. This has been too bloodless.
Yeah,
KT
we can start
play
fighting
like
on the
KT.
desk. True. Yeah.
Nah, he's a lot bigger than
Kingzone. Kingzone likes to get frisky, so they'll be a team.
All right. You promised me that. Okay, I'm gonna look for it. All right.
All right. Well, we'll see that tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to day 1 of Rift Rivals. On behalf of myself, my analysts, the casters, and the whole production crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
因为你刚刚从被抽走33块，因为他刚刚秒手甩。
我真的完了，我要破产了。
2股而已啦。
我们2股20%，
我靠，4块，我靠，6。啊，还好。
让我回家，让我回家。哦，14是好的吗？
哎呦，我也不知道。
悲惨悲惨世界。我跟你讲，我一定会抢那222。不会，不要乌鸦嘴。我跟你讲，我还会再踩一次106。不要，不会。
哎，你神机妙算。
天哪，神机妙算呐，朋友。
哇，你这个拿来赌4组，一定削爆。
我削爆了，我这次确实削爆了，600在4圈哎，真的。
怎么办？我现金都你给我。
好运在4组内注用掉了，白痴啊。
必须 ，Go。
我要不要趁现在卖股票
？6踩了啦，飞雪踩了，哇，飞雪还是个强运，哇，升级哦，95是升级吗？一直买我回家。哇，哎，你一直买我的股票还是高，飞雪啊，可以了。啊，没事，
没有你要走上面，
我只想看一下。我有必须杀人越货！我真的不想跟大鱼当朋友了啦！哎，可以。
한테 프로포즈할 때 내 노래로 프로포즈를 했거든. 그래서 그 노래를 내가 축가를 해줬어. 여기 친분이 없진 않거든.
프로포즈 곡을 검은 고양이 내로 불렀다고. 프로포즈 곡을 검은 고양이 내로 불렀다고.
너는 X야. 내 노래가 검은 고양이 내로밖에 없냐? 어? 넌 한 번 맞는다. 한 남자로 했으면 이혼한 기잖아.
나 결혼하시겠니? 나 결혼하시겠니?
가면 가게.
근데 옛날에 재욱이 형도 겁나 웃겼다며. 그냥
재욱이 형 웃겨.
그걸로 돼서 이제
웃겨.
그리고 이제 진짜 완전 어렸을 때 장난 아니었대.
공채 탤런트 안 됐어. 아마 개그맨으로 했을 거야.
아 진짜.
인기가 진짜 많아.
재욱이 형이랑 저기다. 되게 오래 살았다고.
그러니까 너랑 였던 거죠.
형이랑. 건들지 마.
너는 공개 연애를 했잖아. 다 알잖아.
성동주도 다 알아.
뭘 다 알아, 병신아.
기장을 한 놈 뭐야.
누가 나를 누가 나를. 나 진짜. 정신 차려.
아니.
너는
결혼했잖아. 애가 죽는다고 진짜 너는 공개했잖아.
공개하고 너 다 할 거 다 하고 나는 막 맨날 숨어서 간다고 고생 얼마나 했는데 이제 와가지고 너는 할 거 누릴 거 다 누리고 나를 다 깔라고 그래.
아이 다 이제 알겠습니다.
그만해.
이거 미국의 요새 나간다, 씨.
재욱이 형하고 동엽이 형 그리고
정우민 씨를 얘기해.
우민이 형도
팔고 왔거든데 약간 기합 많이 주시는 캐릭터로.
아, 유승용 씨도 있어요?
네.
유승용 씨 형님도 어울리겠다. 아니 그게 아니고 진짜 내가 생각했는데.
아, 형은 안 어울리지.
아니 어울릴 것 같아.
형 일단 나이가 너무 많아. 박대리는 서울예전 안 나왔어. 이마룡 형님은 어디? 이마룡 형님은 어디? 언제쯤이지 이마룡 형님은?
최민수 형.
최민수 형도 이거지 맞아. 다음에 한번 할게요. 그만해. 최민수로. 형이랑 나랑도 한 번씩 딱 들어가도 웃기긴 하겠다 이제.
그 형이 정웅인 형 하면 되겠네. 기합주는 말이 되겠네.
재밌겠다 재밌긴. 보는 재미 있어.
前往花村。
情绪才是人类真正的敌人。
准备，选择英雄。
哟，大家一起来！嘿，
我们会在光荣的战斗当中证明自己。
挡住他们！
我竟然得！
只能阻止他们。 距离进攻还有30秒。
该认真了，我的刀刃能决定生死。
不不不！要吃露西欧，还有麦片吗？
年轻前，
哈哈！提高音量，
目标 A，
敌人现身，
打下。 吧。你看，感受疗愈节奏。
臣服于我的意志。
加速吧！嘿，看我的！
双杀。
动手，不许走！
加速！谁都挡不住！任务开始！瞧瞧我们的厉害！跟上这个节奏！走开！加速喽！节奏永不止息！嘿，看我的！哈哈，恢复吧！加速吧！闪开了！我要去拿下圣教，你要来吗？我是音乐治疗专家。被这样就对了。开始加速！闪开了！
加速治疗。
提高音量。跟上这个节奏。
臣服于我的意志。
站住！耶！大家加快脚步。Echo， 再来一曲。
人人都是斗士。我会抢下这个据点，跟我一起来吧！
帮你治疗。
我不再年轻力盛了。
瞧瞧我们的厉害！
休息时间。帮你治疗。
帮你臣服于。动住！不许走！站住！
任务还没结束。
第一把上场了。
加利亚，报道。
我不再年轻力盛了。我要撤离。
我面前屈服吧！
我锁定你了。战争尚未结束。再累也不能停。可不认为。
发现敌人。
好多了。我要占领这个目标。
10秒，可以启动制造城市了，向前推进。我的绝招准备就绪。还剩10秒。只需胜负悬败，快手！快！火力全开了，这是真实的威力。我的意志，双杀。我很彻底消灭。发现敌人。失败。精彩重播。我强化你了，臣服于我的意志。
있을 거야.
근데 1987 보니까 난 정보 전혀 없이 봤거든. 되게 놀래.